He's maybe the best at what he does. I would say definitely the best at what he does.
My character's gonna say,
Probably.
"Oh, we have an
Probably.
artificer," looking to Erasmus.
Yeah,
Uh-oh,
Erasmus.
hurt.
So Erasmus currently, with the mace, just for this session to make it easy on all of us, CO, if you want, we can interact and grab her, but Erasmus won't be able to interact at all. It's something to do with the mace. It's only going to last for the session conveniently, but that is actually that is actually one of the drawbacks of the mace. It's just a heavy drawback, so I took it away. But for this session, he's going to have it. So
Okay.
That's fine.
He's really fascinated with that mace.
He won't even let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to learn anything about how to make stuff, I can tell you like the right way to do it. So
Good to know.
Yeah.
Should we all
Tails
introduce
fire.
ourselves and say what we look like for Abel?
sure.
yeah, if possible. Yep.
Who wants to go first?
Don't matter.
I can go first.
Oh, I should say this before you get going. He's a Vidalcan. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that. If you've ever seen Hellboy, Abe Sapien, think kind of like that. Kind of an amphibious blue guy. Hairless. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, should we go in order of the call since it's in ABC
Probably.
order? All right, then that's Pan. You go first.
Bastard. I keep getting thrown under the fucking bus tonight. Well, Abel, you finally have an aquatic friend. Pandemonium is a Triton.
Cool.
Dressed in very colorful, fine clothes. I never finished the art for it, so I don't have an example. He is they. It's supposed to be they, but I keep forgetting. They are currently carrying a viol, and they seem to be somebody who is adept at performing. They also have a very like thick, long braid going down their back.
Okay.
Okay, it's Chris's turn.
Hildorf. I've got robes on, blue and white, with some religious symbol around my neck in stone. I have I'm short, kind of spunky, and I've got like a pretty like frank, plain face with long blonde pigtail braids down, and a warhammer. And I'm watching you real close.
All right.
Macmorn, if you're here.
Well, Max, your typical human warrior, except long braided hair. Imagine a Viking. He's got runes embedded, various like tattoos on his skin.
Magical runes, would it seem, or a specific language?
They seem magical, and
Okay.
Hopefully he has picked up some new bone armor and a bone two-handed sword. I don't know where that went.
Abel is probably looking more towards like magical runes and any technical kind of gear you guys have on you than necessarily your faces. It's definitely one of those my eyes are up here sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's me now. So Miracle is an Aarakocra. She is mostly blue with some lighter blue areas. From the waist to knees is like black, and then it's orange talons for the feet. She kind of has some different colored feathers on her head. Her wings mostly black, but have like a blue to where the feathers go. She really only has a satchel and some gloves on and a ring. She seems to be a wizard. And now it's Pyramid.
Okay, well, I am a winter elder and elf. I I have a bunch of weapons all over me. I'm wearing studded leather armor. I have silver hair, kind of in like a crescent moon shape that goes down to one side of my face. You can see how one side of my face is also burned, and you can see how my teeth are actually peering through the burnt flesh on one half of my face. And yeah, that's kind of what I look like.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
But
Go ahead.
if you're an artificer, I'm going to I'm taking out a small cloth and I'm unwrapping it slowly. I want you to look at this for me. And I hand him the Blade of Broken Mirrors.
Sure. He
Oh, goodness.
makes gestures towards you. Mage hand comes out and he moves to take it.
Yep. Okay. So it's a dagger of a design you've never seen before. It has a very delicate crystal core. It's also in a spiral. And it looks ominous to you, Abel.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, I have it, so I can show you what it actually looks like in a second.
All
So,
right. Where are you showing me this?
I'll show you on the stream. Just give me a second, though. But go ahead and discuss it while I bring all this up.
One thing I had forgotten to mention, he has Abel has two kind of really techy looking bracers. One appears to have like a dagger sheath in it, and the other really funky gears, dials, maybe a watch face to it. On the other hand.
And as this is happening, I'm gonna look at him and kind of peer over everything that he's wearing. And I'm not judging him, but he can definitely sense that, I'm seeing what's going on here. And I say, well, it seems to be that you're just as equipped as we are.
Yeah, I try to make certain that our group has what they need to have, and I love to get my hands on new items like this and just figure them out. If you allow me to take a few minutes, I could figure out what this is magically.
That I have a gist of what's going on here. I just need someone else to confirm.
Yep.
You could look at the bone sword and bone armor if you got that ability.
If you allow him, he'll start casting a detect magic ritual.
Yep.
And just generally assess it with his skills. I can identify these later if you like.
Yeah, I think they're looking. I mean, I think you can read Pyravin. I'm Pyravin. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're looking to have it re-identified. Is that correct?
I just want to see if he knows any more about what I already know because I haven't shared my information.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I would also, I mean, if history helps, I could take a look at that as well. If I, have heard of these items.
You might be able to get something from the history check. So go ahead and go. You can go ahead and make a history check. That they're both magic items. And I can get you the magic in a second, but sorry, I'm trying to get you the model too. Let's see. Pirvin, do you have the link that I gave you in your chat for the dagger? Can you just
I don't have the link, but I did screenshot it, so let me pull that up and I'll just post it.
Okay. I should be able to get the link too, though. Hold on. Let's see.
I actually got a 19. For some reason, it looks like it's pulling my rolls off of the other Abel character sheet.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So a 19 is unfortunately not enough to know what this is. It's from a different place. So there isn't anything that you necessarily know about this dagger. Just that it does look ominous and very foreign to you. Let's see.
Oh, actually, I have 7472 with me, right?
You do.
Can I? Would he?
Yes. Yep.
Add,
Yeah, you can
okay.
definitely. Yeah, you can definitely ask about stuff like this. So
there's a little Motron that tucks up out of my shoulder bag, and and I'm showing it to him while I'm investigating it.
Okay. You could definitely ask. Go for it. This is gonna be a little
And
unexpected for you, Trevin, but yep, go for it. Yep.
he wasn't very helpful, so the 19 stands is the better.
But he did you roll with advantage for him?
Well, I rolled a second time to make it.
Oh no, it's
advantage.
okay. He actually has advantage on his own. You can, and I meant to tell you that before. You can roll
Oh, okay.
again. Yeah. You can roll again. Yeah, he gets advantage on all this stuff. So,
You got a 24.
okay, that is definitely enough. Hold on one second. Cool.
Abel, if you have a
Yep.
different character sheet and use similar stuff, did you connect it?
That's
Yeah.
what I guess I need to do.
Yeah, you gotta do
how do
exclamation beyond and then the URL.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, that might help.
Okay. All right, so the Modron starts speaking in common out loud to everyone, as that is the way it works. And it says, "Oh, this is the Blade of Broken Mirrors, the weapon of Tharzadun. This dagger is a piece of jagged stone who's been warped and wrapped around thanks to the attunements and magic of the Nine Hells. It is alive, and it houses currently a demon named Ragazu. The advantages of this weapon is that you can now speak, read, and write Abyssal once you attune to it. It's very good at killing people, and that it gives you +1. Whenever you kill something with the Blade of Broken Mirrors, though, that is where its true power lies. You can take its form, and you can have that form indefinitely until you take another form. This is also the kind of magic that you cannot see through. So it's as if you're a full changeling or any other creature that can physically change. You cannot see through the illusion. Once the dagger is awakened, and once you are able to barter and get on the good side of the demon that owns it, many more powers will be unleashed.
Hmm.
Well, thanks,
I
Gizmo. Appreciate that.
kind of like
Yeah. It says
back
that to
from-
obviously everyone. Yep.
and then just like with the mage hand moves it back to you sheepishly, like.
Yep.
Yeah,
It does
I-
say also, because you rolled so high, it does say that once it is awakened, it gives you at least one of the spells that you'll be able to cast with this, which is Phantasmal Killer, which is pretty amazing for an item itself. But there are many more, and not only that, you get also properties and benefits on all kinds of things. So this is a very powerful, incredibly powerful artifact level magic item. This
I
is
turned to
like the kind of
Gretna.
magic item. This is the kind of magic item you would know that. I mean, this is on the same level as technically as Krishinabon. This is in the sense that Krishinabon was used to like take over entire cities and stuff. You could theoretically use something like this to do the same.
I turned to Gretna.
That's
Oh, are
amazing.
you
Where did you
all
find
right with
that?
that?
inside a chest in the top of a cathedral.
Sounds about right.
Ominous. Evidence.
That's a very ominous dagger from a very ominous place.
Ominous is much ominous.
I'd be very careful touching that, wielding it, attuning to it.
Yes.
I think it's too late for the attunement, isn't it, Pew?
Yeah, I did that.
Might I ask if you already earned the trust of the demon within the blade?
I haven't even gotten there yet. It's not something that I feel like I need to have, so
Okay.
I'm
Just
waiting
be
for
careful.
him.
Please be very careful. I can only imagine what it would take to win the trust of whatever lies in that weapon.
My own demon. And I'll just take it and put it away and kind of be nonchalant about the whole situation now.
Miracle's gonna look to Kiana and just be like, by the way, how's that book that I guess I sold to you been treating you? Doing any good
Yes,
for you?
it has been absolutely wonderful. So let me tell you, I've been using it currently. The last thing I remember is we are assaulting a fortress in Icewind Dale. There's an entire stronghold of Duergar. I don't
Mhm.
remember much right before we fell asleep, but I remember going up through the front gates, and I'm using the book in. I'm pretty sure I used the book right before I took a long rest, although the details are hazy. But it has been an amazing help, and and I really appreciate you letting me borrow it. I was actually going to ask you if I could borrow it just a little bit more.
Uh, I do have another book, don't I? I grabbed a book from that one library
Yeah,
that was under the skull.
yeah.
I can make it worth your while. Obviously, it wouldn't be just based off goodwill.
I guess I'll bring out the book. I don't remember what it was called though.
Well,
I
that
thought I put.
are you asking though? s- Uh, I think Kino was just asking if he can keep borrowing the book he already has, though.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Kino was asking. He was just making sure that he could keep the book, even though he did pay you for it. I think he feels bad, obviously, and your character would know this, the insight. Kino, correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, but I think his character might feel a little bit bad because he did like leave suddenly, even though he did pay you for it. So I think he was just asking if he could. Is that correct, Kino?
Yes, I only
Okay.
paid them
Oh,
as sort of like a deposit just so I could look at it. Um,
Right. Right.
I intend on giving it back eventually. And speaking of leaving suddenly, and I turned to Gretna,
Mm.
I hope I didn't scare you too much last time. I did not expect to be pulled away like that. Um, I really appreciate you sticking close while I, you know, checked on the mirror.
What happened to
I
you?
So, and Abel can back up what I'm saying here. Um, so you know I'm telling the truth. That mirror, what that does is it duplicates you and basically creates like an evil double of you. And that was a trap very early on that my group activated, not knowing what it did. Our We had a barbarian in the group that he activated it, and the way it works is it copies everyone in the room, which is why I had you stand just outside of it within ear range, but out of the room. It copies everyone in that. So what happened was
Yes.
our entire party was copied. Minus we have, Henri. She was not with us yet. Um, Neither was a few other later additions. A warlock. Sadly, he's not with us anymore. Um, and a Kenku. But everyone that was with us at the time got copied. There was an evil group that we had to fight. We actually so one of It's a long story, but basically, who knows
Wait, you
Elminster?
had to fight yourself?
Well, not exactly. Who
Not yet.
does anyone does anyone
It's
know
like
Elminster
you,
here?
but with different motivations,
Yes.
and they're quite troublesome.
Does anyone know Mistra? Gretna, you're a cleric. You must know
Yeah,
Mistra.
I know, Mister.
So, like, her chosen one was this, like, archmage, incredibly powerful. I don't know quite the details, but basically, we were given him as a child, and he was cursed some kind. So he was also copied in the mirror, and his evil copy was basically an evil version of Mistress Chosen, so an evil Elminster.
Hmm.
And so that evil Elminster then immediately turned around, killed the original Elminster, and then left the tomb. So we have like a demigod level archmage on the loose somewhere outside. And so that's in the future. And the reason I activated the mirror was I tried to negate all that. And I tried to negate our evil doubles ever existing. And if it meant me laying my life on the line, then so be it. Because if that if that evil wizard was to be left to his own devices, I worry about him having the power to just sort of disguise himself as the original Elminster and get close to Mistra, maybe killing her. Well, I mean, it's complicated. I know the spell plague and everything. But he can really mess with magic in a major way that I don't even really I can't even begin to comprehend.
Did it work?
Sorry, I got disconnected.
But I don't think it worked because our evil body doubles are currently in Waterdeep in our timeline, doing not great things. I can only imagine. I also don't know where. Yeah, so
Chris.
I hope you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, go
So,
ahead, Miracle.
if you remember, I told you who I followed,
Mhm.
and which ironically is what he brought up.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just be like eyed wide right now.
Nobody else
Would
in the
I
party knows
notice?
that, though, right, Miracle?
No,
No
no
one
one
knows.
knows. No one knows
Okay.
that. So yeah, it's up to Miracle. But yes, that is correct, Miracle. Same person, yeah.
Does Abel
Would
have
I
a stealth
notice?
cover on?
Oh my gosh, Gage is here. Hello, Gage.
Hey,
Oh,
So
what was that?
Gage, how long do you have? So currently the mace. So the original properties of the mace I put on you this session to make it easy on us. But if you can be around for a little bit, I'm just doing that to meta it a bit, just to make it easy on the group, so they don't have to talk for you. It does mute you. It also, by the way, anytime that you go to attack something right now, and this will stay, you have to make a Wisdom saving throw. That's really high DC. You'll have to figure out the mechanic and all that fun stuff. But
Good thing I'm the tank and I don't have to hit anything.
yeah. So do you have, like, if you have time, I can retcon the ability for you not to talk, so you can at least get something through. But
I have time.
okay, all right, yeah. So we'll take that off. So, so at this point, so you've been mute this whole time. At this point, at least for that ability, you're now able to speak or whatever. You can't drop the mace; it is literally glued to your hand. The only other thing you
Is it still plus 20 to hit?
You'll see. You'll have to see. I don't want to ruin anything. You have to either identify it or figure it out. But so you still have the mace, and then anytime you go to make an attack, just understand that you have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It's awesome that I'm not good at those.
Yeah.
But I can cast guidance on myself to give me a D4.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So what I asked is Abel's Steel Defender out?
Yeah, it's out.
Yes.
It has a fluorescent halo and a Yeti fur cloak.
Wordlessly and without asking for permission, you see Erastus almost go into this drone-like workmanship state and begin just tinkering on this thing.
I think it would probably stop you, but you might not want to touch that. It'll hit you.
Yep.
Does not take heed to anything. It just begins like circling it like a shark would like a fish, studying it.
He'll just say hold, Ada, and then kind of watch you do that.
Go ahead and describe, Erastus, because we didn't get a good description of Erastus. He's a giant turtle in metal armor, but go ahead and describe him for us.
Right now, he's in his power armor state, which would be, it's definitely a turtle outline, but it looks like someone took a turtle and dipped him in chrome, and then pulled him out. What he has is his entire body seamlessly covered in what seems to be one solid piece of steel. Someone with a very high perception could notice the lines that denote the bands, which have expanded to cover his form. His shell is rotund and whole. He does have a slight hunch to his back. His helmeted face is closed around his head. There are eye slits carved into the helmet, from which a light blue light glows from within. For all intents and purposes, he looks like a total Iron Man. His gauntleted hands crackle lightly with electricity, and he has a large, long sword on his
Okay.
hip.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
apparently a mace in his hand, so that's cool.
Chris, do I recognize the sword?
The sword. Which sword?
We have the same sword.
We have the same sword.
Oh,
Oh,
I would
yeah, that. But that's not out though, right? Isn't that in? I thought you have that stowed away.
Is that his hip, like he said?
Oh, I guess it's not. So Erasmus, I thought you just had like a long sword or something. So the sword has been out the entire time on your hip. I thought that you had it like in your shell or
no.
something.
Replier is always on his hip.
It is. Okay. All right. That's my bad then. Yeah. So it is a similar design. It's not exactly the same, but it is a very similar design. Yes.
Abel would go, which one do you have?
Yeah. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
And he's also in the middle of holding the bone two-handed sword, I guess.
Yep.
So throughout this process, he's going to identify that.
In response to this, almost as if he didn't hear what you said, you listen as Erastus begins to highlight deficiencies in your armor for your steel defender, just going through a list of inefficient arming methods and layering techniques that you've applied to this creation.
Yep.
It's constructive criticism. He's definitely, you can tell from his speech, a very meek and passive individual who's, if nothing else, entranced by the creation you've managed to bring to life. In fact, you can see on his shell, it flutters down this clockwork bird, which just perches itself on the lip of his shell. It looks over at you and squawks this shrill note, but otherwise continues to like peck its seed, which he carries on the back of his neck.
He probably picks out like a couple of your more advanced ones. Are like those I hadn't considered. But many of the other fixes, I rebuild this one a lot. I figure it gets beat up, so I don't go full bore when I put it back together. But there's some work I want to do on a friend that I'm going to incorporate into this as well, and those will be good advice.
Your specialty with birds.
May I?
What? May you what?
He takes out a wrench and like.
No.
I think I can fix this.
Okay, but it's fine.
I was going to say, so any work that you do, Erastus, you would intrinsically know, though, it's going to take pretty much the entire session. It depends on how much combat we get into and how long Abel stays, but it's a lot of work. It's like an insane amount of work. Same thing on both of your sides if you decide to do anything like this. So,
I mean,
Abel, so Lee, out of game, what I allowed is that if you guys dedicate pretty much the entire session to this, while you can do it while moving, but it depends on what happens within the session if this is able to go off.
Yeah, this will be all our downtime.
Yeah. And essentially you'll be able to help each other. But anyway, go ahead, Gretna.
I'd like to see if I notice a miracle.
Yeah, you do. You would notice. She wouldn't be hiding it, so yeah.
You okay? Hello? And I put like my hand in front of her face. Are you okay?
Yeah, you look like you've seen a ghost.
She's gonna say, yeah, that it's just.
You can tell me, it's all right.
You brought up Mystra.
Yes.
I follow Mystra.
You do? Oh, you never said anything. We could talk. Oh, that's great. Not as great as Tia, but it's great.
Oh yes, I remember. You followed Tia.
Uh-huh.
Kenny, you do have the slight
Mistra.
realization too
Oh.
that, like, obviously, if Mistra were to die, not only would she lose all of her power, but all mages, including Henri, theoretically would lose her powers. But these are things you intrinsically know. So
All
It suddenly
mages and
dawns on me
Henri.
what we were saying. Oh, Mistra. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
What can
yeah,
I
but
say? Henri's in a class of her own.
basically we made an evil copy of one of the avatars of Mistra, and he's unaccounted for. So let that sink in.
A miracle, I'll help you find him.
I'm going to take a rock.
Yep.
And as a demonstration, Abel, activate my force field, extend my arm, and ping it at my head. And Abel would see as it about 2 inches before it hits my skull, the rock just like gets deflected off this like invisible blue electric force field.
You really don't want to mess up the timing on that. You would just bean yourself.
No, it's quite persistent.
Also, Erastus would see that me and the Steel Defender have sort of similar designed halos around our heads.
That's cute.
He doesn't care about the arcane. The mechanical is the only thing that interests him.
Well, this is a little of both, actually.
And Gretna, since you were around there too and going through it, you notice that you can see now down in the corridor as well. So you can actually see, like, this part did not get caved in, including presumably the area where the Lich used to be. There's also this area over here that the whole group can see.
Right, I
which is
killed
also
him.
open. Yeah.
I'll just check this sword out for you, and I can help you guys down here. Or is that why we're here, Kino?
Yeah. I think you guys can talk shop forever if you want, but maybe we'd want to like try and like do something.
So many ideas.
We can walk and talk.
Yeah, walk and talk.
But how do we know that they're not the evil ones?
Yeah.
Though? Like, why are
Go
we
ahead.
jumping to conclusions?
I'd identify that sword for him because he asked.
There's a very
yeah, you can.
easy way.
Yeah.
What is your?
But that's of course only if Erastus allows you, because he has to give it to you.
Oh yeah. He untraps replier and hands belt and all.
Yeah.
Does
Chris,
does anything?
One bit more gave me. Is that the same sword?
He's still staring at the Steel Defender like it's blown his mind.
Chris, does anything happen with my sword once I see it unsheathed?
So interestingly, he's not able to actually unsheath it. He's just handing it to Abel. He has to actually put it in his sword hand to do that. And so Erastus, that's one thing that you intrinsically know. You're not able to take it out. As a matter of fact, you can feel the telepathic annoyance of your sword. Because not only are you wielding something else, but you can't even take it out to like wield it.
Yeah.
So
Reppy, I can't let. I can't, telepathically, I'll be like, Reppy, I can't let it go. It's stuck to my hand.
You gave it a nickname.
You don't know that.
No, this is Tyler.
Yeah, I give it a nickname because that's what Erastus
awesome.
is. He's a panda bear.
Yeah. So you do we'll fast forward on the identify. It is one of the sort of answerings. It is replier. It has a neutral alignment. It gives him a +1 bonus to attacks, +1 bonus to attacks currently, and does the exact same thing that Tyler's done in the sense that you also get to, as a reaction, like basically take a retaliatory hit. Other than that, though, everything else is locked to the identify. So it is a sentient item. It's alive.
Okay.
So that means there's more to it. But for now, that's all that the magic item can do.
Okay. I don't know if I was clear. I was given a two-handed bone sword to identify. Is that the same sword?
Gotcha. That's why I was confused. I was like, did
I mean,
I reply?
He will identify anything he can get his hands on happily. But
okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're identifying the great sword. That makes way more sense. Okay.
So, Chris, for my Tinkerer's tool check, I'm going to work on the Steel Defender. I rolled a 24.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Yep. So this is so it's a great sword weapon of certain death. I'll let the time go through, but it's a great sword of certain death. All it does is when you damage a creature with an attack using the greatsword, the target can't regain hit points at the start of its next turn. Obviously, if you're proficient with it, you get to use your proficiency bonus to attack. But that's what the greatsword itself does. The bone armor is a magic, but when you go to identify it, it is simply so it it has residual magic on it when you go to identify, and that's it. That's all you get.
Okay.
So
Lee, I sent you a message.
Abel, one of the things that you would know is that if an item is magic but has no identifiable like if it has nothing to identify but it is magic and it's not sentient in this case, it's iffy on what's going on. It's suspicious potentially.
Mhm.
We can
All
run
right.
some tests.
But it is plate armor with bones sticking out. So it is not a +1, however. It's not you don't even get a +1 on it. There's just something magical about it. But it is not sentient.
As he's identifying it, he's just kind of just stating the stream of consciousness, all these facts. So anything Chris said, you guys overheard Abel say pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, this
And
is one of those items that you have to attune to in order to find out
I'd
what
be
it does.
careful with that, especially I would even put that near the knife. But sword's kind of nasty too, but it's a weapon.
You would hear then after the 15 minutes of loud clang as I've undone the exterior shell of your steel defender.
Oh no. Once you start making a roll, I was letting Chris talk. He tells you not to touch it. If you continue, he will push you away. You can deal with that how you like, but you are not disassembling him.
Okay, did you see the message I sent you?
The what?
Uh-oh.
Sent you a PM.
Oh, I didn't.
Anyway, so as it's going through, while they're going through and looking at their mechanical stuff, so I guess what would you guys like to do?
Miracle's gonna look to Kiana because no one brought this up yet, and he was gone when we did this. She's gonna say, "So remember that hammer that you told us not to touch?"
Yes.
So I did something smart. I told everyone we should leave because Gretna seemed to really wanted it, and I sent an unseen servant to grab it, and now we
that's
we
perfect.
got it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I was very worried. Obviously, the hammer is good, but to get it, you have to sustain a massive amount of thunder damage.
Oh,
Yeah, if we had touched it, we'd all be dead.
was
I'd be
Yeah,
dead.
I was trying to avoid that.
My character's gonna
Thanks.
say, it was different. It wasn't lightning. It was actually fire.
That is
Ooh,
right.
that's not a good one either.
Can be.
Huh. Well, yes, it can be, but also, I heard the question of how do you know I'm not the evil doppelganger, which is a great point. I'm glad you brought it up. So the way I've determined is that these aren't actual like people, they're creations. They're manufactured beings of the tomb. And they don't have memories before you created them from the mirror. So this mirror Kino would not remember anything from before I activated the mirror. So the fact that I knew all of your names and the fact that I could tell you about, oh, I knew Gretna was outside and I could tell you about my other group is proof that I am not that mirror Kino.
Sounds just like what a Mirakino would say.
Yes. Well, if you'd like to run any more tests, you certainly can, but I also have a theory that I don't know because I don't actually know what happened to the duplicate once I got shunted back to my original group. I have a feeling that it's not a perfect copy and that they don't have the full power, but I don't know.
Okay.
Oh God,
Should we go back and look at that room?
Well, I mean, we could always venture forth since we're all here.
I think it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
So and Gretna starts to creep up and go through and
Yeah,
take a
Gretna's
look. And
done.
the first And the first thing that you notice, Gretna, is you see the Aceric's body lying there. He has stuff on him and everything. It's which is bizarre because if you remember when that holy light went through and like hit him, it kind of like vaporized Aceric. You saw with your own eyes that what happened was Erastus hit Aceric with like mighty radiant damage and it just like disintegrated him. But
I didn't
that's
see that. I was hiding behind the door.
So, Chris,
oh yeah, no,
Is the door itself still golden?
it is, and I actually, well, you might be right. You might have been behind it, but assuming anyone else could have seen that with line of sight, they would have seen him burst into like Erastus like obliterated the guy with like
Mhm.
this amazing hit. However, there is a body laying there.
Chris,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. While I have time, and if Lee's agreeable to it, what I would like to do is pull out my notebook.
Yep.
And begin to exchange notes, roughly teaching him a little bit about my defensive expertise, while he
Yep.
teaches me roughly a little of his offensive expertise.
Yeah,
And
that's
just
fine.
comparing
That's
and
fine.
contrasting our different
It'll
styles
take.
of artificer-ness.
Yep. It'll take. It,
Yeah, if you ask to go to trade ideas and go over stuff, he's happy to answer. Just you walk up to his stuff with a wrench, and he's like,
yeah, no, that to me is very reasonable. So yeah, no, it's very reasonable that you would be like, no way, you're not messing with my stuff, and vice versa. So that makes sense. And so this is how that mechanic will work, by the way, so you guys know. As long as Abel is able to stay the whole session, does not die, or you do not die, Erasmus, or there's so much that goes on that basically distracts you, that can be done. And for the most part, I think you'll be okay, but we'll have to see what happens during the whole thing.
Mhm.
So you've got a good shot at that. Okay.
Sorry,
So
we're nerding out in the corner.
yeah. So so this is what you see. You see a skeletal, yet more than you saw before, sinewed, muscly, undead creature with a makeshift crown on his head. He does have a robe on. He has a staff. Um, and you don't see like he doesn't have that flaming like glowing like thing that we were saying, but there's definitely a body lying on the floor.
You gonna eat that?
I grab my holy symbol and
Yeah.
I just like double tap him with the sacred flame.
Yeah. And as you do that, so it hits the body. You don't have to roll anything. It hits the body. It goes through. There's no reaction. It clearly looks like it's expended all of its like magical energy to go through it. But if you want to investigate it, you'll have to get further.
I kind of look back and go, anybody want to come? Anybody? No?
Miracle.
Okay, I start walking forward.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on.
I'm with you.
Miracle will go.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine everybody will want to go, so that makes sense. All right,
Now might
Miracle.
be a great.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
I thought, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Amanda,
So,
I'm happy to see everybody.
Amanda,
Huh?
you have control of Erastus for the next 20 minutes.
Yes.
all right.
Uh-oh. Say
that was
goodbye.
too enthusiastic.
All right, cool. So as you get in, so everyone sees this. These are the things that you can do. If you want to, you can make investigation and Arcana checks to find out what the hell is going on with this. However, that does mean that you need to be close, touching the body, all that fun stuff. Even the Arcana check, you need to be close.
I actually go over to it anyway to do.
Wait, before you touch it,
Yeah.
Gretna.
Yeah.
So Aceric is pretty tricksy. Now might be a great time for Unseen Servant or Mage Hand.
Oh,
All right.
I can send Unseen Servant in. But...
I
Okay.
go back one space, so I'm just at the base of the stairs there.
Sure. Yep.
Sure. I guess I'll cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Or a ritual.
All right.
Is it a ritual cast? Hold on.
All right. So
I might do that instead of spending a spell slot.
God, it's weird to be a half caster.
Well, that's fine. So while she's summoning Unseen Servant, does anyone want to do anything? Like you can make perception checks where you're at. So
Yeah, is
I've
there a
been
way
wondering
to?
for a while, is it real gold?
Yeah, so you definitely go ahead and get an investigation check on the door. You can look
Okay.
at that.
I will say it was for us.
That's one thing that you're actually kind of mystified about, Kino. You know what happened to yours, and here they are sitting right there. So
Yeah, it's yeah.
16.
all right, so this is solid gold. It's a solid gold door.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
Kino, the one thing that you notice though is that the throne is very different. It's a wide throne. It's not actually. It doesn't look like this. By the way, Kino, let me explain it. It's a large throne that's as wide as this here. This is a placeholder, and it almost looks like a couch where it is ornate in the sense that it's like it has a throne backing, but it's very very wide. This is different than what you remember seeing. Not only that, in the room itself are a bunch of um decayed and old like for instance it looks like this was a room of a regal like kingdom a long 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 time ago. Things are moldy, they're decaying, they're incredibly old. This room is different than what you remember.
Yeah, ours it was a coffin, I tell everyone. It was a
Yeah.
giant golden coffin.
Hmm.
You guys got a
I'm gonna
couch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remind everyone though that we did find out when Keanu first came that we are in a different timeline than his, which was before him.
Yes.
Do you
So
need help looking at that, or
we are in a timeline before him.
Also, Gretna, if you need help dismantling that door, Kino would be happy to help you.
Oh, Kino. Thank you.
also if you want to, not brute force through it, I can help you take it apart as well.
But if you do want to brute force it, Kino is pretty strong.
I
So
think both. I think
Yeah.
both.
So here's the reality with
Working
the
on those
door,
stoves,
and,
huh?
and the other group had to do this as well. So here's the reality with the door. The door, and this is by the way where Abel and Erastus are going to have to stop what they're doing and probably help with this as well. However, the what you need to do is you need to be able to break this down enough that you can get some of it within the bag of holding. That's the tough part. It's too wide to put in the bag of holding. It's incredibly unwieldy and heavy. Good news is it is solid gold, so it's malleable, and that's how you're going to be able to do this because it's not as like hard as adamantium or steel or anything else. It's definitely malleable. However, it's going to take a bit of an alchemical like process on top of like pounding it away and stuff to kind of break this down. It's
I
going
can
to take
pound it.
yeah, it is going to take a
Right.
long time, even with the whole group. And that's with Erastus and Abel doing everything they can to try to help with this. So just keep that in mind. And if you do it for the entire time it takes, everyone has to take their point of exhaustion like last time. So, and that's if you try to break everything down to get the max amount of gold. You can get to a point where you don't have to take your level of exhaustion. And I can tell you how much you get. It's a little less than half of everything, but intrinsically this is tough, hard work.
Oh yeah.
So Abel and Erastus, you can talk amongst yourself, but I imagine you'll have to. So the key to this is that you need to take a bit of like an acidic chemical process to help them, and you have to come up with a way to do that and tell me about it, just like last time, Abel, and then you just have to go through and come up with the best way, because otherwise this is like 3 days worth of work.
Well,
Easy.
is it
So-
one of those things where if we can kind of find the right alchemical solution to soften it in just the right places, we can maybe fold it just small enough to get in the bag?
Correct, and also separate those pieces. That's exactly right. You can fold it to get it into the bag, which is just like one check with a higher DC, or you can do the multiple ones and just break it down. But there are multiple ways to do it. So this is all going to come down to how much time it takes. Right off the bat, if it was just like Gretna pounding away, Gretna could do it on her own, taking 3 points of exhaustion and taking 3 days, which would be awful work. However, since we probably don't want to spend 3 days in the tomb, I imagine for everyone, and not everyone wants to have 3 points of exhaustion as well, which would suck. This is why we're trying to come up with like a creative solution to this. Now, keep in mind too, you're also doing this in front of the tomb and everything else, so I'll let everybody get back to it. But
do we still have some of that really hard dust?
Oh, the cutting dust. I think brother
Yeah.
has that.
yeah,
I
he
think that's
does.
in the bag.
Oh, okay.
That's what you used last time, which is why you have to come up with a creative solution. Exactly.
All right.
Well,
Like a
money's
magical
not
weapon.
good if you're dead. Let's find this guy.
Well, I was gonna say
Do
a
we have any
magical
flaming
weapon.
weapons?
The unseen servant, right? Let's just do that.
Okay. All right. So we can fast forward to the unseen servant. So the unseen servant can get summoned. What would you like to do with him, though?
Here.
I'm gonna ask them what should we have the unseen servant do, I guess.
I will allow
Okay.
I will allow a 10 feet away investigation check with the unseen servant, but it's going to be at disadvantage. Or you can use the unseen servant to at least do your perception checks by like rolling over the body and stuff like that.
Okay. That
What
sounds
if
good.
you frisk the body, take all the items off of it, and then pull it out so they're not on the body of the false lich?
Right. That of
I
course you
mean,
can do.
sure, we can do that. We can.
Okay. So if you want the unseen
Okay.
servant, if that's what you want to do, the unseen servant does go ahead and disrobe the body. So only the head and the arms are purely skeletal with some sinew. But when it takes off the body, and you guys smell this immediately as it comes out, it already smelled bad. But when you take the robes off, it's just a decaying mass of flesh, maggots, and awfulness. This is actually more meaty and more like organic than you could have imagined it was. So there's that, and then of course the smell is atrociously bad. No one has to make Constitution saves, but you're close to it. It's absolutely wretched. Not only that, within the body there are these, and you can say, as a matter of fact, Erasmus, you would see this immediately as it goes through. But there's these little tiny metallic things inside of it that glint every now and then. There is something inside the body, but you are able to take the bone staff away, and you are able to take the crown off of its head, and the robe. But that's all that it was carrying.
So the crown's probably bad news. Probably don't put that on your head. I've seen the actual one and it's terrible. Do not, if you ever get to the throne room, do not touch the scepter or the crown. Yeah, that's right, Mina.
Yeah,
That's
Mina
right,
knows.
Mina. You know. But Kino is
God.
relaying this all to you in character.
Yep.
Yes,
I
we had
remember that room.
we had a harrowing experience with a rogue that had some
Oh.
sticky fingers and decided to check out the crown and immediately was compelled to put it on his head. Nothing short of divine intervention from Bahamut himself allowed us to get that helmet off of that Kenku's head.
Oh God.
So do not.
Throne room.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Ah.
Don't worry, you'll
thanks.
get there. Maybe I'll be with you.
Oh God.
You'll know when you get there. It's full of pillars.
Now, you do have the ability to do investigation arcana checks on the body to find out what on earth happened. But again, those are things that you need to be in the vicinity to do, obviously, just like normal.
Miracle, do you have Mage Hand?
No, but Erasmus does.
I would. Well, I was gonna say there seemed to be something in the body. Do you want to pull it out with Mage Hand?
I have it if you need me to grab some.
It's easier for Lee to do it, so yeah.
Let's have Abel do it.
He's got two hands he can use.
Yep.
So he'll just summon it and walk close enough and then reach over from the distance.
Yeah, so Abel, as you do that, you notice that there are 3 separate keys within the body. This is also very different than what you remember. There were no keys in the body last time. However, there are 3 different keys. One is gold, one is silver, and one is made of platinum. But they're nondescript keys. They actually just have a circle keychain, like a circle on the end of the key itself, and then it goes to around 6 inches, and then there's just the portion that would unlock a door. They all are slightly different. So, for instance, the keys themselves have slightly different fixtures on the ends of them, noting that they are different to go to different locks. But it's gold, silver, and platinum.
Right. I will describe those as you did, and probably at some point he's like, "Oh yeah, it's like a key for this kind of thing." Like he knows way too much about locks as well, so he's described that as well. But
Could you identify those? You say like identifying things. Could you identify these things for us, please?
Oh, the keys.
Well, the keys and the staff and the crown and the
sure.
robe.
Which keys do you want first, and then we'll do that in a sec. It'll take me 10 minutes apiece, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it
Sorry
would take a
about
long
that.
time. Yeah, it would
I'm
take a long
sorry.
time. Yeah.
Well, then we don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Oh, if we have the time, sure. I just wanted to point that out.
I think the staff would be good.
Now that you have the keys, by the way, Abel, you're close enough that you notice there are 3 separate keyholes within the. They're hidden, but now you can make them out as you've gotten the keys and you were looking around. There are 3 separate keyholes within that long throne.
Okay. There are 3 keyholes here, so presumably these go to it. We just need to know the right which ones. I don't know if there's a trap. Let me check that out.
Hey, Pierre, how you doing?
Like maybe there's a wrong answer would be bad. Can I investigate that?
Good.
Of course, you can investigate the.
Pirvin's real
throne.
good at this.
Pirvin, you can also do it too. Like if you want, Abel can investigate first, and then Pirvin can, and then.
I'll just assist so he has advantage.
Okay.
I can
all right.
also investigate. I have a high investigation.
Okay. Well, let's try it. We'll try it first. So, Abel, Pirvin's going to help you, and you can go ahead and investigate the weird throne and see what's going on.
Okay.
All right. What did you get?
I apologize. I typed it wrong. Wow. We had advantage. That was 10 total.
Okay. So there are 3 separate keyholes. However, the mechanism that you find, and this someone else can try to investigate this too, but the mechanism is actually set up so that it's double blind, meaning that even when you go inside of the mechanism to see it, it actually has these it has thousands of tiny pins that overlap the area where you could have taken a look. So even when you get light in there, they latch on and out as if there's a small mechanism inside of it, and it goes at literally thousands of paces per second. So I mean, this is like incredibly fast. As a matter of fact, if you had stuck your finger in, or even the keys in themselves to look at it, it could have been destroyed. And your finger, for sure, if it was small enough or anything in there, might have also been chopped up and destroyed. So right off the bat, this is very, very hard to investigate. And also, it's dangerous to investigate, as you can see, because of that mechanism on the inside. That said, as you were looking through it, the keys do look about the right size. So it does look like you are maybe on the right track. These probably do go in there some way. But again, it's just a nasty contraption on the inside.
Aside from telling it's dangerous, I'd really worry about my fingers, but I'm pretty certain that key would go in there.
Do you want
I
to go
turn
ahead and
to
try it?
Erasmus and
like
we should
first. I
take
mean,
a
I do
look.
have the page.
I will aid Miracle.
Yeah, and go ahead. What was that, Pirvin?
I was just asking if Erasmus wants to help me take a look at this.
Yeah, Erasmus will help. Pirvin can
I
try too.
forgot
And
he wasn't
Erasmus.
here right now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter because I'll let you both go ahead and roll. Miracle, you go ahead and roll too, and then you can also roll with Erasmus. This will all happen in tandem anyway. So there's 3 keyholes, so you can try each one. So, but go ahead and roll,
25.
Miracle. All right. So Miracle realizes. So Miracle finds out when she's looking at this that that she's able to time those gears going into it, and then she trains her vision. It takes her 5 minutes, but she trains her vision to look inside each individual keyhole to try to figure out which key goes where. And literally by like luck and by just good fortune and a bunch of other things, she's able to determine which keys go. This trap is not able to be disarmed. If it is a trap, the mechanism is not able to be disarmed, and it is made to be like it's actually a self-containing seal, so there is no seam, there is no way to open this up. You would have to somehow like power through and destroy it. And then sure enough, Gretna, since you would have done this anyway, so Gretna, I imagine at some point you're going to see if this is gold or not, and like what it's made out of and all that fun stuff. It's just a veneer. So there's just a very small plating or a very small thing of gold. Underneath it is something much harder. So this is not something easily destroyed. Anyway, so as we're going through that miracle, you can at least have the order. It's something that's not there's no way to go through it. Pirvin, would you roll just in case?
I didn't roll. Hold on.
Yeah. Just in case you crit, like get a 20 or
That
something.
was almost a crit.
Did you get higher than a
Didn't have it.
25?
She got
No,
a
I was
25.
talking about mine.
Oh, gotcha. You got like a 19 or something?
She got a 19 plus 6, so she got a 25.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Irvin got a 5.
Okay, that's fine. So, so you guys are actually shocked that she was able to sync her vision up like this, because to you it
I'm
just looks like a mess of like, it just looks like a mess of like clouds on the inside. It actually looks cloudy on the inside when you look at them. But Miracle was able to time this with her vision, and she just figured out which ones. So Miracle, now you know exactly which keyholes to go into. So if you do decide to do this, I'll give you the order. That said, you have no idea which way to turn the key, and you don't actually know which one goes first if there is an order, but at least you know which one goes where, which was already mostly impossible to figure out. So
Okay.
from a meta perspective, since the other group didn't go through this, and I did give a whole spiel in the beginning, but this is one of many things that unfortunately is not very fair. I'm giving you a fair warning. It's a risk versus reward scenario. Just keep that in mind. There are certain things that are written in canon that are not the fairest things in this, so I want everyone to know that up front. This is one of those things, though, that could end up being a permanent thing. There's several going forward, but this is one of them. So.
I still have Unseen Servant up.
Yep.
I mean, if you guys believe in gods, maybe pray for wisdom.
The wisdom would be to leave it alone.
That's a very smart thing, but
I guess, what do you guys think? Leave it alone? Try having Unseen Servant do it?
I mean, there's gonna be dire consequences of this, so I say we do it. Might as well.
I'm gonna stand outside the room.
Great.
I'm stepping out of the room here.
Great
Okay.
visions, great rewards.
Yep.
If you're going to do it, though, I would use the Unseen Servant or Mage Hand or something. I wouldn't want to touch it.
Absolutely.
I was
Okay.
gonna have Unseen Servant do it.
Okay.
Is there anything before that? No, I want to like just look. Is there anything written on the? You could
So now,
ask, I guess,
yeah.
Abel. Is there anything written on the casket that might give us whatever the throne, whatever that is, to give us an idea, maybe?
So it is nondescript. It is gold. However, something I should have mentioned when you were looking at the thing itself is that on the top of this throne there are several different inlaid gems. There's 4 sapphires and 4 emeralds, and they basically go in opposite order. So if we go back, you'll see on the stream here from left to right, it is sapphire, emerald, and there's 10 total. And they go all the way over. That's the only thing that's really descriptive about the entire throne, besides the fact that it's very wide and those small little keyholes were built into the bottom. But that's it otherwise.
Gretna, you can't like commune with your deity, correct?
No, not yet. I'm not that good a cleric yet.
It's okay. You'll
Tino, wasn't there a poem?
Get there.
Was there anything about gems in it?
Oh gosh, that was a long time ago.
All I remember is something about Sean Green.
I have the poem in my journal if Audrey can go to it.
Yeah, one sec.
You're just gonna have to figure out what day it was. I think it was third day.
Pulling it up now.
I mean, there were a lot of. It's been a while, and I'm terrible with poetry, but there was stuff about colors and different stuff in there.
Shun green if you can, but night's good color is for those of great valor.
Which sapphire would be a good one?
If shades of red stand for blood, the wise will not need sacrifice, aught but a loop of magical metal. And I could go on.
Magical. Yeah, we don't have magical metal.
I don't remember anything about gems.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything about gems, just colors.
Okay.
But the gems have colors?
Were the keyholes color coordinated?
No. Nope. They're very nondescript. It's a
Okay.
it is literally a miracle that she was able to find out which key went into which one successfully. That is a god level kind of thing, but since she rolled a 25, she was able to figure it out. There really is no natural way to do that unless you get higher than a 24, which is not very likely, but she did. So yes, that's the only reason she was able to find out which key goes in which hole.
I'm wondering, it's a possibility that all three you have the order. You have which key goes in which hole, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
She has which key goes in which hole. That is
I'm
correct.
I'm wondering if this is like they all have to, like, it's like nuclear keys where they all have to go in at the same time and you all have to turn them at the same time. That way you can't cheat it with Mage Hand.
With Unseen Servant and Mage Hand, though, we could probably do it.
Unseen Servant, Mage Hand, and then Steel Defender.
Well, no.
Well, Unseen Servant also has
Unseen
two
Servant has
hands.
2 hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I never thought about that.
It's got 2 hands.
Never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with that information, Abel, you want to help? I can
Sure.
tell you where.
Yep. All right.
I'm standing out in the hallway.
All right. Where would
So
you
if
guys
you
like
want-
to be? See,
Left
you
or
have to
right?
be within 30 feet, right? 30 feet from Mage Hand?
Oh no.
Is that
Greg,
inside
you want to
the
back up?
No,
Let's
you
just
can
back
actually
up a
be right
little.
here. You can be right here, Abel, when the stream catches up. So you're actually able to be outside the room. And Miracle, what's Unseen Servant? It's like 100 feet or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you can be wherever you want.
I'll just have my
that.
defender near me on that end of the hallway, just in
So,
case.
just out of curiosity, though, can we pull up Unseen Servant again? Because how do you actually communicate with it? Don't you have to like talk to it? It's not telepathic, correct?
I can recheck right now.
Yeah, recheck because I think you're gonna have to be within line of sight to say turn now, essentially. Abel can do this because it's an extension of his hand, but you, I believe, have to be right next to him looking at it. But just make sure I'm correct.
Oh god. So this is a risk of me. Unseen Servant.
I'm looking it up too. Let's see.
Madness, medium force. The servant springs into existence. You can mentally command. Ha
Oh, you
ha!
can. Okay. So you are going to have to. So Abel. So the only way. So Abel, you would have to stand in front of it, and you'd just have to say like out loud to Miracle, like get ready or whatever, and then this can be done. So. Yep.
So I'll gesture with my own hand as I'm going to turn it with the mage hand.
Sure. And where does everybody else want to be?
Top of this second set of stairs leading down
Top of
that
the
longer
second set.
hallway.
Okay. Yep.
Same next to that hallway.
Okay. And just verify when I'm done.
No. I'll be down at the bottom. I want to be again within 30 feet of the people doing the stuff.
Okay,
But
sure.
Abel, are we
Yep.
turning it left or are we turning it right?
Clockwise.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So Gretna, you are now within. Let's see, 5, 10, 15. You can actually be here. Yeah, you can be
Chris.
30 feet would be here. Yep.
Steel
good.
defenders at the opposite end of the hallway with me.
Okay, great. Let me bring it down here. Yep.
Oh, that's
Is that what you meant by opposite you, or did you want
Oh
it
no,
somewhere else?
like behind me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sure.
Like if it goes bad, I'm gonna duck around to that part of the.
Oh yeah,
hallway.
yeah. I see. I see what you're saying. Yep. I think it'll
Perfect.
it'll catch up in a second, but yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you guys trepidatiously are looking at Abel. Abel, you notice too. It's like, I mean, you're the only one that's like, if this were to shoot something out at you, you're of course the only one in harm's way here. But, all right,
Oh.
all right.
Watch it leave the room untouched and floods the hallway with something.
Okay.
That's sad.
All right. So what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna count out loud 1, 2, 3, and then lower my hand as I'm about to turn it, and you can command your unseen servant.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
have it turn it right since we all decided to turn it right. Turn them right.
Clockwise. I don't know which way you mean by left or right, but clockwise.
Clockwise would be right.
Okay.
Yep.
Counterclockwise would be left.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then click.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and all of so you're able to do this pretty much in sync. It does click, and what you hear is a horrible noise inside where the keys are. You actually, so you can kind of see them behind. The keys are themselves getting obliterated as this happens with all these little pins on the inside, and then um there, like, almost immediately everyone's vision kind of obscures. There's like a lot of like weighty, like heavy things going on. It actually seems like there could be like gas in them or whatever. Everybody go ahead and make a DC Constitution save. So just make a
I'm gonna
Constitution save
hold
real
my
quick.
breath if I can before.
You can as a reaction. Go ahead.
Oh god.
You still have to make a Constitution save though, unfortunately. Yeah, this is
Oh,
not something
boy.
that you have to inhale. You don't even have to like
Oh,
breathe
shit.
to get it. Everyone who made higher than an 18, let me know.
Ah,
Oh my.
Oh. I.
Abel, you fucker!
Oh my god.
Abel, you bastard!
Abel
can
made
tell-
high-
I can
What
tell
I-
the situation was going that way.
the only one.
Chris, this isn't a disease by any chance, is it?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
No, and this is on contact to your skin. It can go through armor. It can go through clothing. It's not something you have to breathe in or anything like that. But that's okay. So,
Oh boy.
Abel, did you save?
Only Abel made the save.
Abel is the
Okay,
only one.
Everyone is immediately, instantly knocked unconscious. Abel, you are the only one that sees what is about to happen. So,
Okay.
Abel, you
I can't be put to sleep.
somehow, in some miracle stance, remain conscious, and this is what ends up happening. So, immediately, the entire tomb shakes and shifts, and you feel the unholy mechanisms of the interior and the inside of the tomb start to shift and turn and crack and basically move. The tomb itself is reorganizing itself in some way. You know this because you're an artificer, and you can tell that there's things going on. The whole tomb itself is completely reorganizing things. It's an unholy, awful, terrible sound. However, surprisingly, you don't feel like you're sick or anything else. You walk over to the group though, and they are completely out cold. Go ahead and so Abel, you are able to make a medicine check to try to determine like what's going on here. But it's tough. But go ahead and try.
Oh,
Is
God.
there anything that's gonna happen with me because magic cannot put me to sleep?
So in this case, it's actually a toxin. So it's not. This is not even magic. It's a literally hard, awful, terrible toxin. So if you do have something that's like that can actually like basically neutralize all poison, then yes, you can also stay conscious, but otherwise no.
So I
It
rolled a
doesn't matter.
2 for a total of 6. I'm pretty
Okay.
certain
You have
you
no
will.
idea when you have no idea when they're going to be like coming back. And here's the thing. We'll skip fast to this because it's it's an agonizing 8 hours, Abel. You as a matter of fact, every now and then when you go to like check on them, they look dead. They look absolutely dead. They don't even look like they're breathing. You get terrified that you're like the only person left alive in the tomb. Sure enough, they every now and then they start to breathe again. It's kind of like a really traumatic experience for you overall. Like the only thing that's left, obviously, Bimmy would still be up if Bimmy is still conscious when Erasmus is unconscious, but I think he is. But other than that, it's just you and the Still Defender. After 8 harrowing hours, and by the way, it's a full 4 hours of the tomb making noises. It's 4 hours long of this. And then finally, they all slowly start to wake up. Everyone has 2 points of exhaustion. That when you do not, Able. Everyone else has 2 points of exhaustion. Um, and everyone feels like they died. It's an awful, horrible feeling. You feel groggy. You definitely tell you were drugged. Um, it's just a awful, awful feeling. Abel, when so in that time, I imagine.
Just briefly, at some point I get bored, but realize they'll probably wake up.
Yeah.
I'll start identifying those things for them.
Of course.
I probably got a little bit of work done on the cold.
I was going to say, I also imagine that you probably want to look at the throne. Is that true? Or are you afraid of it?
By myself is a bad idea.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. So okay. Okay. So anyway, so you start working on the door a bit. It's hard work doing it on your own, but you are able to at least you're able to figure out the chemical compound that you need to. But through guess and check work, I will give you that you're able to find the chemical compound that can start helping break this down. You weren't able to do it necessarily on your own. Because you're also kind of frazzled, and this is a very traumatic experience. Like you weren't 100% sure they were waking up. You were just hoping beyond hope, and your rational thought that they were. But anyway, eventually they do. Everyone to you, it seems like only a second or a couple seconds have gone by. It's like you caught your breath, like you couldn't breathe, as if you were dead. And everyone comes to.
I'm going to use 5 points of lay on hands and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use.
Yep.
Would that cure it?
It does not cure all of the points of exhaustion, but you can take a point of exhaustion away if you do lay on hands. But it's 5 points apiece. So if you wanted to, you could take away your own exhaustion maybe, or like if you did it twice to someone, I'll allow it. But you have to use a full charge of lay on hands in order to get the poison off. So
I'm
5.
going to use 1 for myself, and I'm going to do 1 to Gretna.
Okay. All right.
I didn't realize lay on hands got rid of exhaustion.
It
doesn't.
neutralizes
It just
the
gets rid of the
effect of poison.
Yeah, it's only
Alright.
because this is a thing of poison that he's.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah. Okay, I can then do.
I was worried.
How's everyone looking
You
health-wise?
think we're gonna take a rest, guys?
We probably should.
Okay, then come around. Who have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna lesser restorate a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I have tiny hut also.
So, how many people we have? How many people have 2 points of exhaustion?
Everybody but you and
but
Kino.
Abel.
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
everybody
And
but
Kyoto.
everybody but Abel, Kino, and you.
Yep.
All right. So then that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Okay, everybody's getting a lesser
No.
restoration then.
Wait,
No, but everyone has 2 points of exhaustion. But yes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do a lesser restoration on everybody except for Mikino and whoever that other person was.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Abel.
Able. Thank you. So it's 5 people. Yes. 1, 2. 4, 5.
And Chris, I'm going to use lesser restoration on myself to cure the second
Okay.
level of so I am no longer exhausted.
Yep, that's fine.
If we decide to rest, I can put up tiny hut.
I think it's 6.
I think we should rest. I really do.
I think
That
it's
was
6.
It is 6.
Then somebody's missing.
Yeah, because
doesn't have it.
Co and Erasmus, you're missing.
Yeah.
Well, I
That'd be
did
7.
I did
She
5.
counted 5.
I
So I'm
checked
gonna
my
have to-
pockets.
Yeah. So
Seal
if
and Erastus, and I'll do them after we rest.
so fortunately nothing was stolen during that time as you start looking. I imagine everyone also talks to. I mean, the first thing you probably would do is also talk to Abel, if you determine that he was awake during this time as well. But
Oh yeah, he said, "Oh, I was wondering what happened." You know, he's very clear about that he was up. Some of you woke up and had items identified on you. You know, I mean, with like a little tag on it. It was like very industrious while everyone was out.
That probably was a bad idea.
So I'm guessing we didn't do it. I'm guessing we picked
Actually,
wrong.
I'm pretty certain.
What was
My
in the
sen-
what was in the throne?
My sense is that everything shifted around. I didn't go in there by myself because, like, I didn't know if it would go bad, and then I'd be by myself, and then, like, we'd all be dead, maybe. So it sounded, if I'm right, my sense is that the whole dungeon shifted around, and I know when I did investigations in here before, there's all sorts of mechanical workings inside these walls, and like anything can happen.
I'm willing to go in and look at it.
Oh, be careful.
I'm ready to check.
Okay, I tell you what. This time though, when I go to Abel, I bless him and I bless myself. Anybody else?
I'll go since my
Okay.
investigation's been
I
working
bless her
out.
too.
okay, yep.
How's
Alright.
everyone looking health wise?
Oh, I don't even remember what my HP is at right now.
I'm hurt, but I'm not that.
Oh, I'm at full HP. Never mind.
Okay. All right. So the body is right here. By the way, the body's still there as well.
All right.
The body still has not. By the way, the body has still not been properly investigated. You guys know, no arcana checks or anything like that as well. But so to step over the body, go ahead.
Okay, I'll step up to it and begin to arcana check, history check, whatever.
I'll give him advantage.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if you want, you can do an arcana check first on the body. Yep.
So I'm an arcanic person. I'm an arcanic person.
So by the way, the staff and the crown are not magic items. You identified them, didn't work. They're not magic. No, neither is the robe.
None
What'd you
of
end up
them were
getting?
magic. I got a
correct.
25.
Okay, this is what you start piecing together. This was actually a greater zombie, obviously not a Sarek. It was animated remotely, and the way that it was speaking was through a magic mouth spell. You start looking around the room, trying to figure out how this is possible. Where could this have come through? It was a Sarek in the room with you. Like you're very confused because, again, magic mouths does have to be cast on something until you realize that there are very, 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 very tiny, meaning no one saw them, very, very thin mithril tubes in the very tops of this room. And those mithril tubes are magical conduits. This allows Aseric himself, probably, although you don't know this for sure, to cast remotely. Now at least you know what to look for if you ever find them again, but they're tiny. They're almost the sizes of needles, but they're hollow and they are made out of mithril. Um, you the reason why even if you wanted to, Abel, you know well enough with your 25 investigation. Once you're going through this, I'll give you this. You do not want to mess with these because anytime that these are set up, they also have magical defenses on them. You can certainly try, but it would be at your peril. They generally they're powerful magic items that can even have things like spells stored in them and all kinds of stuff. So getting them out, messing with them, going through it is generally a dangerous thing. You can do it if you want to, but it's almost certain doom, meaning that whatever they have in them defense wise goes off if you even attempt to mess with them. That said, that is how Aseric was able to go through this. So Aseric has now presumably had a direct involvement with you and seen this. Abel, you do not remember any of this at all. the last time you were in the Tomb of Horrors. These did not exist.
Okay. He's thinking out loud and saying all this, so you guys are hearing all this. He's not keeping any of that reserve. He's like, I just wasn't here when we were in here before.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't touch any of these. That would be bad news. They usually got extra stuff set on them, and
What about the chest, the throne?
Yeah, so the throne, go ahead and make an investigation check on the throne itself.
I'll aid you.
I was gonna say I can, but
Actually, have Miracle.
Save.
Have Miracle do it since she's the one that was going through it. So that's fine. Miracle's
Okay.
aiding. That's
I'll
fine.
aid her.
Okay.
Oh,
No, it can be either.
Okay.
She can mage you too, Abel. It doesn't matter. I wasn't
Abel,
saying
what
it bad.
is
I'm
your
just saying because Miracle's in
investigation
here.
check?
Yeah.
Abel, what is your? Oh, you have plus.
I
eight
got a
modifier.
26.
Okay, so so Abel, one of the things that you realize is that it is very, very hard to see if this was a correct or incorrect thing because the pins are still moving, the mechanism's still going. So you're not sure if this was intended or unintended. The only thing that you do know, though, is that the keys themselves are now completely and utterly destroyed. You see very small fragments of even platinum and gold and other things. It did consume the keys. It ate them and basically ripped them to shreds. You know from being an artificer that for pins to rip things to shreds, this has got to be somewhat unnatural or what. It's just not usually possible. So, but there is a bunch of like metal filament inside the machine. You can see like little things. You can't touch it because you're just too afraid that it would take your finger off or whatever. You don't want to mess with it. But there's little powders of each of these metals inside the keels too. But it did go ahead and consume them. It is very, 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 very hard to determine if there's any other use with it, but you suspect there could still be more uses to this thing with your 25, which is, or 26, I mean, which is almost godlike. So you were able to see the same thing, by the way. You were able to do all this by timing your vision with the pens. You were like, oh, since she explained it to you, you kind of get it, and you're like, okay, I see how this works. And yeah, so there could be more uses to this, but right now you don't have any keys. So
25 without advantage. I was surprised.
Well, I don't think I can make keys out of memories, so I guess unless we find more or something, that's what done is done. It's pretty advanced device in there, so
oops.
Okay. Guess we should maybe try and sleep and then get rid of some of this exhaustion.
Yeah, I can. I'm gonna offer putting up tiny hut.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
Is everyone gonna be in the tiny hut?
If there's rooms, I'd rather.
Sure.
Let me check the space of it again.
Yeah, I only meditate
Likewise, sir.
if there's
it can
space.
fit nine. It can fit 9 people.
How many people do we have?
You have less than 9.
All right. I guess we're all gonna be in tiny hut.
I think we have 9.
Do you have 9?
Hold on.
Oh,
1,
yeah, of
2,
course you do. No,
With
no, no.
Theo
I'm wrong.
and-
I'm totally wrong. It's just, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, no, we only have 7. No, of course, we do have 9. So it's just a
with
9.
Theo and
Yeah,
our
yeah.
asses.
Exactly. Yep.
All right.
It's gonna be tight. Let's do it.
Yep, that is correct.
Oh no! I actually wait. Oh no! Don't tell me I'm out of spell slots in 3. Oh, I might not be able to.
Yeah.
You can ritual cast it. It's a ritual.
Okay, I'll ritual cast it. Never mind. Oh.
Honorary, was that you?
I didn't
It's
check
a
on it
ritual.
again. Okay. Whew. Is it the? No, it's not. It's just. Oh wait, there's the R book. Never mind. I saw the R. I see the R.
Okay.
Usually
Does
it
anyone
says
have
as
remove
ritual, so it confused me.
Sorry.
Remove curse. Does any
No.
then any of us have it?
No one has removed curse yet.
I have removed
Granish,
curse, but
you do?
I used my lesser restorations already.
You have removed curse?
I
You
have
got it
removed curse. Yep.
at fifth level?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to
That's-
take this rest time to put that bone armor on.
That is fortunate. Yeah. For some reason, I thought that came at 6th level.
It's a 3rd level spell.
Wow.
Alright, I guess we have a tiny hut up and we're all taking a long rest. Such a ritual.
You ever see The Walking Dead when one of the party members turns into a zombie?
Oh god, no. No.
All right. All right, so you go ahead and don the armor, Macmorn. So this is what ends up happening. So the armor does take hold, and the armor raises your AC by 2. It is amazing armor. You're very shocked at this. It's super tight. However, not only can you not remove it without risking your death, how it also takes your HP. So basically, this is what ends up happening. These small barbs start going all over your body in excruciating pain. You start bleeding. Everyone sees this as he puts the armor on. Now there's barbs in him, so he can't take it off. It's trying to get into organs and all kinds of things. And that said, you have to take your total HP gets reduced by 9. But you do get +2 AC until you remove it. There are more to this than just that, but for now, that's what's happening. So your HP is, while wearing this at the very least, is reduced. +2 AC is pretty awesome, and you know that, Magma. Like you kind of feel like way more protected, but at the same time, you're in pain. This also means that athletics checks are at disadvantage. So is like dexterity saves. So your athletics checks, dexterity save, those are all at disadvantage now. And it's because you're in pain all the time.
Is that
You're in
full
constant
plate
pain.
plus
It is
2?
full plate. It's full plate +2, which is pretty amazing. But again, you're in searing pain, and what you'll find, I'll give you a little bit of this. What you find is the longer you wear this, unfortunately, the more it gets ingrained into you. It's right now, it's on surface level of your, with your muscles and everything else, but this is the way the armor works, and it will get worse and worse and worse until you take it off. Until there might be a point where you can't take it off without it just killing you outright.
Oh, you might want to take that off. Oh god.
So
The other thing that's functional, the other thing that's not so functional about this as well, and by the way, this is a 2nd edition item, so it gets very detailed. Unfortunately, there are other problems with wearing this armor. You will not be able to wear it indefinitely. And I'll give this to you. I was going to wait for a couple sessions, but to make this easier, because it's 2nd edition and we're playing in 5th, there are problems as well. You can't actually remove the armor to do normal things like go to the restroom. So worse, it starts to make you ill. So as you go on, so this is not something you will actually be able to wear forever. So so on your 3rd short rest, if you haven't removed it by then, you have to start making constitution saves, because and as you get sick, it will eventually, like that, you could get dysentery. Like there's all rules for this, but they translate into 5e, which just goes to straight damage, and then you get disadvantage and everything. So again, not a great item. But this is how the actual armor works. You are not a bone knight, and you did not go through any of the ritual. This is how they actually work. And there's ways to basically, if you wanted to like become a bone knight, deal with all this, but you don't, and you haven't. So it's just the way it is. So now you have really great armor, but it's also slowly killing you.
yeah, I see no reason to leave it on. I'll try to take it off.
All right. So so you need help with, so 2 other people have to help you try to do this. And so Piravin, it's probably going to have to be you, because now you need to use thieves tools and sleight of hand, and you're going to have to roll. If you fail each time, I get to damage you. So go ahead and
I will help. I
What
will
do you
help and
help?
cast guidance.
I will
Okay.
also help because I am not exhausted.
I'm
Okay.
also gonna give a bardic inspiration to Piravin.
Yeah, and the pain
If you
is
need a
kind of
second
like maddening. The pain sucks. I mean, you can still fight right now and everything, but it sucks. These barbs are basically everywhere. It's awful.
If
It's
you
one
need a
of the two.
second person, Abel is proficient with tools, and he can, give you advantage or whatever. So.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay,
No, that's a
so
9.
I only got a 9, but in this
Okay.
case, I'm
Yep.
going to use. Where'd it go? Let me
So
see.
remember, you got to roll a d4.
What is the check?
It's
Sleight of hand.
D4 for
So this is what's happening. You guys are trying your best to tear this armor off with the barbs inside of it, and the barbs are like these really small fish hooks that span out into
Oh no!
hundreds of little needles. It's awful. And not only that, as you're taking it off, Macmorn has to stay still. That's why this is a sleight of hand thing. There's a
Oh, I'm
lot of
sorry.
crap going on. It's pretty
Sorry,
much
Mac.
it's very, very awful. Now, granted, granted, I'm going to give you some of this because this is a very, very cool item, and I just want to go ahead and spew it. So this is the real process that a Bone Knight goes through. So if Macmorn was a Bone Knight in the Metasense, this is actually a great rite of passage. This is part of the whole thing. Since he's not, it's awful, obviously. So that's why he's going through this. But it's very, very, very bad, for sure. So go ahead and what was your roll?
I'm so sorry, Mac. I got a nat 1.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So so the first time, so you go to rip this off, it doesn't come off, and the barbs start to like rip over not only your flesh, but like you start to get a small amount of internal bleeding. Oh, not that. Ignore this. Hold on. Ignore
The
this for
blood's on
now.
the inside. That's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, ignore that roll. Ignore that roll. However, it's not much. So you do
Yeah.
take So you take 13 points of damage. It's awful. If that's as bad as a really bad sword wound. That's as much to cut a commoner in half. So you take 13 points of damage, and the armor's still on there. Blood's everywhere at this point. It's pretty awful. And you have to do several checks to take this off. By the way, like I said, this can even kill you. So, but the first one does not work.
Yeah, that's why I don't like things made out of bone. Metal's a lot more trustworthy.
I like. Ooh, I'm not that dexterous. If this was like straight strength, Kino would be all about it.
Yeah, you can use your Thieves' Tools proficiency, by the way. I don't know if you're doing that, Pirvin, but you can use the Thieves' Tools proficiency. I don't think it would have mattered with your roll in this case, but
Right.
yeah, because you can pry the little pieces out and everything. But
No, I'm just trying to use an ability. It's a soul knife feature, and I just can't figure out how to use it. So it is what it is.
It's every feat but that it gave.
Before we do this again, I'm going to cast a Cure Wounds on Mac.
yeah, and I'm sure everyone can see this, but it's 1d10 plus 5. So
Oh God.
yeah, it sucks. It does suck.
All right,
Yeah,
4.
it's pretty bad.
Not to.
You get 4 back.
But if you want to just leave it on for now, you get +2 with your armor. It's terrible. It's awful. It's really awful. Yeah.
I'm hoping not to, but Pirvin with his sleight of hand check plus the bardic inspiration plus the what CO gave, that was a 16. I don't know.
A 16? All right.
Yeah.
So you go through and do a 16, and the first part of this is so you are actually able to take off the pauldrons of this. He still gets damaged, but he takes half damage. So you only take 3 points of damage on this.
Chris,
Oh,
as
so
an
he
armor,
heals.
would I have any knowledge on how to take this off him easier?
No, because it's really boner. I mean, you can help with advantage and stuff, but it's really down to the person that's dexterous. You can help. You can always like try to give someone advantage on this, but the reality is that this is a sleight of hand awful thing because the barbs are the issue. It's not actually the armor itself. It's all the barbs underneath it that are causing the difficulty. It's basically like surgery. So, but
okay.
yeah.
Kino will pass off.
So at the very least, the pauldrons are off. To be so you know this is multiple checks. So the pauldrons are now off. Now, if you get half the armor off, you lose obviously your plus like it goes down to like a +1, and then after you get everything off, you're free of it. But Mac, this is incredibly painful. If it's just so you know, if you fail a couple more, you're going to probably try to resist them from taking it off anymore. if it doesn't kill you outright. But
So
Yeah.
we got half off, you said?
the pauldrons off. You got the pauldrons off, not half.
Mac, do you want me to keep going?
God.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna kill me anyway. So keep going.
Am I getting any extra things like points of inspiration or bardic stuff?
Yeah, I'll give you
Not
another one.
points of CO casted guidance probably again.
Theo guidance.
Yeah, so that's a D4.
And Erastus advantage help.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a 1 on the D4 this time.
Kino is stepping away from her portion of the armor. She will let someone else
And
do this.
5. That's a dirty 20.
No,
that
no,
time.
it's when you use it for an ability check, you can roll it twice and choose which one to use.
Oh,
So it's
so
a 4.
it's a 19.
So yeah, 19.
Abel's gonna cast.
Okay.
Abel's gonna cast heroism on you.
Okay. All right.
So,
So that
every round you have temporary hit points equal to +5.
Okay, so you guys are able. To. I'll let you actually choose because they're different DCs anyway. But I'm gonna help you with this one since it's such an awful item and it is second edition, which doesn't translate super well. You are able to take the. You're able to take the boots off, which are one of the hardest. It does scrape out like the big gashes of like your your flesh there, and it's 10 points of additional damage to you, Macmorn, which is pretty fucking awful. But you are able to remove it at the very least. This was one of the hardest ones. What do you guys? So here's what's left. What's left is the Greaves portion. He's got the boots off. The Greaves portions are left, and then the torso portion where his like chest plate is. So you've got 2 more to do. These are a little easier than the ones that you just pulled off, but obviously the chest is the most dangerous one. But it's easier than what you just did. So
I'll
Mac, you
second
get
wind myself too.
okay.
So keep in mind 5 off of each of these damage rolls too.
Okay.
That's
How?
10 for Mac.
With heroism.
Oh, gotcha. That's a good. That's good.
Temporary hit points.
That's good.
And I'm
Yeah,
also
that's
going to heal him for 4 with Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And I will suggest people work fast.
Yeah, the next check's a 20.
Okay. Yep. You're able to get it off, and that's the Greaves. So we'll go ahead and take the Greaves off now, and it's 11 points of damage unless there's anything else that go into it. But they are able to get off.
Minus the 5?
Does he still have heroism?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
10
So
rounds.
minus the 5. Yep. Oh yeah. You're good. Yep. And then all that's left is the chest piece.
24.
Yeah, you got it. So,
Oh,
yeah. So even though you're a bloody mess, 13 points minus the 5.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So you're bleeding all over. You have holes in you. Little pieces of the barb are actually still in your skin. They'll work themselves out. You're in excruciating pain, Macmorn.
We leave for one session. Everyone started throwing themselves into wood chippers.
We told him not to put it on.
It's just a little refresher.
I'm going to do 1 more Cure Wounds just so you stay with us.
I got 39 hit points left.
5 more.
Yeah. But
Is
you
this
do think to
is this
yourself, Mac,
before or
it's
after?
probably good. It's probably good you did this now because if the barbs had gone in more, you think to yourself, and also what would have happened if you had to start going to the bathroom, you couldn't, and got sick on top of this, it probably would have been your death. So
Did this happen before or after our long rest?
this is all before the long rest. Macmorn
Okay.
did say he put it on. Yeah, fortunately for you,
Okay.
Macmorn said he put everything on, and then he started screaming. So yeah, this would have had to be before. Yeah.
I'm just gonna wrap the
Well,
armor in a blanket and put it in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
we don't do
That got messy.
Okay.
Oh,
Just a flesh wound.
well, hey,
Not
hey,
dead
at
yet.
least Kiana, you get your spell slots back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't take them with you.
So
Alright.
during the long
Long rest.
rest, go ahead.
I could use my hit die.
Yeah.
Well, long rest you regain all hit
So
points.
a couple things happen during the long rest as well. So during the long rest, the demon within the sword, by the way, does reach out to you, and it does like whisper to you that it suggests that you start using the item to gain its favor. Meaning it wants you to equip it, properly attune to it. You have to make the willing choice to attune to it, by the way. The demon cannot force you in this case, but it wants you to attune to the item, and it wants you to use the weapon. Meaning it wants blood in this weapon. Anyway, so that's private to you, obviously, Piraven. Other than that, by the way, Erasmus, are you still there?
He
I think
said
he
he just
stepped away.
stepped away.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Chris,
Yeah.
I'm going to pay pretty close attention to Co,
Yep.
because when Henri returned, she said she also had a pseudo dragon. I'm just looking to see what it looks like.
Yeah, so the pseudo dragon that Co has, and if you get a glimpse of it and see it, you've never ever seen a dragon like this before. It has gem-like scales that are made of emerald, translucent emerald, as a matter of fact. Very different from Henri's pseudo dragon. It's got a sharper head as well because the gems actually coalesce into like sharp points. And it does look like it's made completely out of gems. You also know, by the way, your eyes sparkle, and it also tells you that the gem dragons, the gem pseudo dragons, are the most endangered. It explains to you that Henri's is also like pseudo dragons in general are just endangered in general. However, Henri's, this one, they're all sought after because if you find them in the wild, people who don't know anything about them, they just naturally assume that they can just cut their skin off or whatever and also resell that. So the gem dragons in particular are harder because they can't hide as easily, so the light catches them. This is all inherent knowledge that you know. So that's why they were kind of like carved out of existence. This is the last family of them. You also know that. So they're all related. Every single pseudo dragon still within the world is all related to Henri's pseudo dragon, this pseudo dragon, or whatever. Now that you've seen both, you can tell that they're brother and sister. This is all private knowledge, obviously.
I'll be right back.
I just if I see it awake for a moment, I just look out to it and I just say, "Well, what is your name?" in Draconic.
Yeah. It looks at you incredibly, but so it does look at you incredibly confused and slightly surprised and scared. It does go back into Co's hood area, and it does start talking to Co telepathically. You know this inherently, by the way. You know that it's talking to Co telepathically. You just don't know what it's saying, and they're having a whole conversation back and forth.
Can I butt in and just say, she hasn't given him a name yet.
Yep.
Oh yes.
In Draconic.
Oh.
In Draconic.
Oh.
I'm gonna say
at
I
you.
know Draconic too in Draconic.
I give a little clap. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. I'm quite impressed. Not many people speak it from my group, so it's good to finally talk to some people that do.
It's a beautiful language.
I'm afraid I startled it. I didn't mean to.
My character's gonna kind of just like put up her hand for a high five because she is only.
As long as it's not too high, I can reach it.
She'll put up 2 hands.
I mean, she probably wouldn't have named it before she came back. Did you hear what Henri named hers?
No.
It lived?
Oh, well, just barely.
Oh.
She used her divination magic to save its life instead of hers.
Oh.
And we had to well, we
Just
brought her back. But...
Real quick, want to say, love the fact that you implied that Henri died so the dragon could live. Loving that.
Yeah. Yes. So she did. Oh, she sustained quite a sizable amount of damage on her return, but luckily there's some healers in my group, and we were able to bring her back. She named it Butterball.
Okay.
I like that little laugh.
Which I imagine this sounds like just draconic Butterball.
It's like no one understood until Butterball.
Yeah.
The other pseudo dragon does pop out of like where CO is, and it telepathically communicates to you in particular, Kino, and it says, "What happened to my sister?"
She is with the divination wizard who she bonded to with my group. She keeps her quite safe,
and
I assure you.
he says, "Yeah, okay, but is she like far away?"
She's far away in both space and time, my friend.
He said, "Okay," and he goes back into CO's area. Yeah.
I hope that's not a problem. She was transported by accident. I hope you know that.
The dragon's probably having a little party in there. Like broke out the God, what are those things called? Party favors.
And
Pinata? I don't know.
No, the thing you blow on. Gross.
Yeah, so
Noisemakers?
Henri knows this. Kino, you wouldn't, but the sister
Yes.
wasn't very nice to the brother previously. So
yeah. Yeah, I'll just say, well, I didn't
Party horn.
party horn.
I looked it up. Yeah, it's a party horn. One of these little bastards hanging all posted.
now one of the things that one of the other things that's inherently given to you knowledge wise as well, by the way, is that the last remaining pseudo dragons, its leader, the one that actually leads all the other pseudo dragons, the one that like basically is in charge of them, is Henri's pseudo dragon.
Okay. Well, I will say nothing more
That's
to
why
it
it's so
rather
twisted.
than I've never seen another dragon like it, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, Henri has the oldest pseudo dragon, and she is the leader out of all of them, all of her siblings.
Very cool. And I will continue meditation.
All right. All right. What would you guys like to do now?
I just want to leave this place. I don't want to be around here. So I guess I'm going to get up and be like, oh, well, is everyone well rested enough to head on?
Yeah, once we're rested up, you see Abel kind of start tweaking on his armor a little bit. Add a few additions to it. Drops down a visor on his helmet. He added a few little things for the day.
Okay. Yep. All right, Piervin. So as you're walking up, you do have a couple different options. You can go back where you came, obviously, or you can try this new area over here.
Let's go ahead and check for traps and stuff around this new corner and see what's going on down there.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so Piervin, as you get into this area, you notice immediately it's very, very dark on this side, but there is an opening on this side and on this side here where there are these tiny ledges. The ledges extend out to essentially where the tomb goes through, but then as you look down on these ledges, you can't see the bottom. It's black, so it's hard to see anyway. However, you're able to go through and you get a decent amount of view to the bottom, and you still can't see.
Okay, yeah, let's check down this hallway.
Okay. All right, so you do walk down the hallway, and this is what you see around the bend. There's a door. There's a door that basically stops right here, and there's the whole hallway is pretty nondescript. It's the familiar stone that you're used to seeing.
Okay, so there's no reason I need to check for anything. We're good to where I am at least.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. How would you like to get to the door? I guess.
On the left-hand side.
Okay.
This is gonna be my last time I can check in. I want to cast 2 spells.
Yep.
I'm casting Enhanced Abilities on Pirvin for dexterity checks. So he
Okay.
has advantage on all dexterity checks. Any dexterity check. And I'm
Yep.
casting Enlarge on
Okay.
Macmorn.
All right. Cool. Yep. All right, Macmorn, you are now enlarged. Here, let's do that real quick.
He does an extra hit die. Every time he hits is an extra hit die, and I think he gains some HP.
Does it increase his range too, or is it does that not happen?
He goes to a large, so I think
Right.
that does reduce his range by 5 feet.
Yeah, I'll double check that, but I think you're right.
But he goes
Large
to a
doesn't
large.
automatically do it though.
Oh, it doesn't? Hold on, let's see. Let's look.
There are things like horses that are large that don't have reach.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is right.
It increases them by 5 feet.
Okay, but
Which I would assume increases his reach by 5 feet.
Can someone just look? For some reason, I can't get it on D&D
Yeah.
Beyond. Can someone just read the enlarged spell? It'll say the spell.
Oh,
It's
I
already
can make it pop up on
size doubles
Discord.
in all dimensions.
I can make it
Yeah.
pop up on Discord.
Okay. Yep.
So
that works.
Macmorn has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Oops. wrong
His
one.
weapons grow to match its new size, and while he is enlarged, his attacks deal an extra 1d4 damage.
Gotcha.
There you go. There's 1. There you go. There's all the information of enlarge/reduce
Cool.
on Discord.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah, this is so strange.
I just had to pop in. I wanted to contribute some way, and that's all I could do. So.
Yep. No worries.
I
Thanks.
appreciate that, bud.
Yep.
Use it wisely.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now my head hits the ceiling.
Cool. Okay. Yep.
We should have just done that. All the armor would have fallen off of him.
Probably.
Or it may have just outright killed him.
Yeah.
Indeed.
If it didn't
Yeah.
enlarge,
I can
Yeah.
also enlarge myself, but I didn't want to
Gross.
ruin it for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. All right. All right. So Pirvin, you are able to get to the door. It's locked.
Of course. Let's go ahead and check for traps and see what's going on with this door.
Yeah. Go for it. Kino, you vaguely remember this area. Abel, you do too. You vaguely remember
Yes.
what's beyond this door. So you remember there were like pots, and this is where we lost somebody, and yeah.
All right. I will call out to them. Just hold up. There is going to be, or there was something when we were in there on the desk. It was a sort of a soul jar, and it automatically sucked the soul of someone that got close to it. The soul of a lich took over their body, and they met a quick demise after. So be wary. This is a workshop. There's 3 pots. I believe that there is some oozes in the pots. Could be totally different, but I'm just saying be advised because it's dangerous.
Okay, and I hear all this information.
Yep, I'm telling that to everyone.
He can say it loud enough that you can hear it. Yep.
All right, and then if I can talk to them back from where I am, are you guys even interested in this room? Should we just turn around from where we are, or?
There's good stuff beyond it, I will say that. And there is a way out. This is a room that goes to other places. I think. It might. I mean, I can't say anything for certain. This whole tomb is shifted around, but when I was there, it did.
Sure. I got a 17 for investigation.
Okay. Yeah, it's not trapped. You're sure.
Is it locked or
You're not-
unlocked?
Oh, sorry. So, yeah, just go ahead and do this. One's a mechanical lock. Just to do your sleight of hand to try to unlock it.
Also, there might be another one of those orbs on the wall, like the fairy tale one you went into.
Gotcha.
Oh.
19.
Yep, you were able to unlock it. So this is what you see, Pyramid. So, sure enough, there are 3 different cauldrons within this room. There are 2 tables. Both of them are empty. There's a workbench. There's another table over here with nothing on it, and there's another workbench. There are several different, basically, bookshelves with a bunch of books. The skulls are there as well. Same skulls that you guys are used to seeing at this point. And they're all lined through it. They're those giant bird skulls.
I'm gonna
Well,
reach into my pack and pull out. Yeah, in this room I got this, and I'll pull out Volo's Guide to Jellies, that little book,
Yep.
Abel, this
and I'm
might be a
gonna.
good.
Oh, sorry.
This might be a good time for detect magic.
I
Yeah.
can do it also. I can do
Well, aren't
detect
you
magic
special?
also.
Okay.
Sorry, that was supposed to be a lot funnier than it came out. I wasn't trying to be like mean about it. Sorry.
Hands on edge. It's okay. I pat her on the back, or them on the back.
It's fine. I'm just not allowed to speak anymore.
And if you can't
The
speak
only
anymore,
thing
you
that
can't do
worries-
thunder damage.
The only thing that worries me about freaking detect magic, last time I did it, all I saw was light. I guess I'll do it.
Okay.
God, even though
Okay.
last time I was blind like crap.
All right. So you do cast detect magic, and as you're looking around the room, so what's interesting to you is that there's something lighting through here that seems to be magical. There is every single one of these skulls has a faint glow. Every single skull in the room has a faint glow.
Hold on. I
Yep.
have to refresh the stream. It's not been moving for like freaking 30 minutes. I
Oh,
guess.
okay. Yep. Everyone else can see the stream, right?
Yeah.
I can see it. Yep.
yeah.
Chris, do
Alright.
these bird
Sometimes it
skulls?
doesn't refresh.
What? So Kino, the one thing that's different about this room from last time, remember there was a body
Yeah,
on the thing that's no longer there.
there was a shrunken
Um,
body.
That's right. On the workbench itself, there's thread. This thread right here glows just a little bit. The other one does not. And those are the only things that are actually like glowing from your detect magic.
Is that magical wire?
It looks like it's some kind of thread. Yeah, it looks like it's some kind of thread from going through it. Yeah.
Chris, do these bird skulls look similar to the one we saw on the floating island?
Yes. They
All
were
right.
not
Oh,
there
don't
before,
touch
by
those.
the way. They were not there last time you were here. Obviously, these bird skulls.
But is that the one that I touched?
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
hit?
point those
But
out
they
to
have
Abel.
also seen other. If they denote this
I
information
haven't
to you,
touched one yet.
the party has seen these before. Yeah.
Yeah, I will note those bird skulls and say, hey, these might be similar. And I'll walk to the front of the group or close to it.
Okay.
Wait,
Yep.
what was all glowing again?
So there's something glowing so bright that you can see it in between like this. So there's something magic in here. There is dimly glowing magic thread. All skulls are dim, glowing, and that's it. That's all.
I guess I'd relay that to everyone.
Okay. Yeah, we can people in here.
Are we clear to
I'm
enter?
not blinded this time. I'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
God.
If you need me to investigate anything, just point the way.
I'm not gonna touch anything, but I'm just gonna look over the spines in the bookcases.
I'd like to look at the book
Sure.
on the table.
Same.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So first and foremost, when you start looking at all the books, it's very different from last time because all these books are literally like the spines have nothing on them. They're all leather bound spines with nothing on them. No writing whatsoever. And which book did you want to look at? Sorry, the
Oh,
book on the.
I thought it was a book on the table, but it's a box.
Yeah, these are boxes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly right. There's two of them. This thread was the glowing thread. The other thread over here seems to be mundane, but this one was glowing with a detect magic.
Once everyone's distracted with something, I'm just gonna turn to the room and just cast Divine Sense.
Okay. Yep. Okay, that's fine. So if you go through and cast Divine Sense, um, this entire room has been desecrated, and you vaguely remember that from last time, but other than that, nothing else.
Okay. I will just walk up and relay that to Gretna.
Yep.
This whole room.
You believe, since it's your Divine Sense, Kino, that it was probably desecrated by multiple murders and other things, like maybe experiments. You're not sure, but some
Yeah.
terrible things have happened in here. Terrible, terrible things.
Okay. Yeah, I'll relay all that to Gretna.
Yep.
This whole place is full of terrible things.
Yep. I'm gonna pick up one of the blank books and just
Yeah.
like
So
not reading it.
surprisingly, every single page is completely blank.
Oh. All right, I'll just put it back then.
Yeah,
Well,
every page is blank, and then you go through a couple others. It seems to be the same.
would you mind if I did something? I say to everyone real quick, and I pull out the gem.
What are
Do
you gonna
what?
do?
I was just gonna give it a once over, and I hold the
Yeah.
gem up to my eye and
yeah.
say,
You'd recognize it from Henri's time being there. It's the same gem
"Yes."
she had.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the books themselves do have writing in them. You don't know why they're not glowing, but they do have writing inside of them. And the first one that you pick up, Kino, talks about how to dissect a human being while it's still alive. Human being and then various ways of torture, various ways of like making sure that the person doesn't lose consciousness to make sure that you get the most like effect out of someone doing like basically the most damage to their body while keeping them alive. It's a whole manual on how to do this.
Okay, I'm gonna as soon as I see that, I'm gonna jump a bookcase to see if they're organized in any topic. Just gonna go. I have 10 minutes. I'm gonna look around the room, obviously, for anything invisible, but I'm going to focus on these books to see if there's like any interesting topics.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it looks like the only thing that's being obscured right now is the actual things. They're all pretty nasty books. A lot of them have to do with torture. However, if you go through 10 minutes, just give me an investigation check and let's see how much you can get through.
I suppose while he's doing that, I'd go to start to inspect that table.
5.
Okay. So you're able to get you're able to get a decent amount of like books going through. So you get in the 10 minutes you sum through at least like 40 of them, but you also have to like skim to get their context, and a lot of them seem to be similar. However, the worst books that you find. Give me 1 second too.
Somewhere John just got a pain in his side and going, "Oh no, what's happening?"
All right. So the worst books that you find have to do with successfully so essentially they're manuals on how to successfully or at least the author's idea on how to successfully wipe out certain races. Uh, there is an entire one on how to wipe out the entire goblin race, and it's a manifesto. Um, uh, you don't have enough time to go through all these to get a ton of details, by the way. So you didn't pick up the author's name or whatever because you had to go through a bunch of books. But there is a manifesto on how to get rid of all goblins. There's also another book that talks about how to topple. So it talks about how to like slowly take over villages and which items you would need to find in order to do it perfectly. Um, and it looks like it's like the manifesto of maybe a serial killer, but this is more cultish too. Like there's some pretty bad things in here. Like for instance, killing the village elder and like in like rituals on how to like wear his skin. It's pretty awful things. Those are the two that stick out to you directly, but all of them have to do with flaying torture.
Yeah.
That's all you can get through before the gym expires with your
That-
investigation check.
Oh, that's terrible. I put the books in my bag.
Okay.
Hey,
Do you,
Tell
how
anybody what to do?
how
no,
many how
just like
many of the
2.
books? Yeah, okay. Those the worst ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Well, we don't want to leave them in here. Someone terrible could take these books.
Well, no one actually knows what they say anyway. So,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yeah, slip in my bag.
Yep.
Yeah. I let everyone know there's nothing really crazy in the room. The books on the shelves are about torture.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
So as you guys do come into the room, obviously you have the 2 workbenches, but then there's also these. You'll see the stream catch up in a second, but there's these cauldrons, and in the cauldron, each cauldron has a different kind of liquid. The one on the left has a clear liquid, the one in the middle has a greenish liquid, and the one all the way further on the right has like an orange goldish liquid. Yeah, that's my fault, by the way. The stream will catch up in a second, but yeah.
So one of these, I believe, was a jelly.
Yeah.
But I don't remember which one. But that's the fun of it.
Oh, sure.
jellies are just the greatest.
Now you still have the glowing thread here. You can see this for an hour, obviously, and then there's some kind of device glowing in there. Kina, you vaguely remember that the device was in that general vicinity, though. The other device.
Yeah. Did anyone check out the drawer over there?
Nope.
I'm over there inspecting it.
Okay. You want to do an investigation check on the door,
Sure.
or just want a perception, or I guess you tell me. What would you like to do with the door?
I would look it over quickly just to see if it looks like obvious traps because I'm not real good at it anyway. And
Yeah.
then I would actually investigate it.
Sure.
I'll help.
I was gonna say I would help, but if he gets low, I guess I'll roll.
Sure. Of course. Yep.
Gervin's helping.
9 perception. And,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't appear to be trapped at all, and it's unlocked. You can actually just go through and open the door.
17 investigation as I search through it and open it.
Okay, yeah. So you open it and you find a glass pyramid that's got another very intricate. So it's a glass pyramid with some like gold and blue like writing scroll all over it, and then inside of it is basically like another like glass vial. Kino, you vaguely remember this. Abel, you
Yeah.
vaguely remember this. Go ahead and make an intelligence saving throw. Abel.
Oh
I just want to say that I had walked into the room so that I wanted to be like again within 30 feet of people doing
That's
stuff.
fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, Abel remembers this as he opens it. And he's like, "Oh yeah," and go ahead and make your intelligence saving throw.
I have a 12.
Okay. All right.
And I got a 12. I can't
Okay.
believe that.
It's just unfortunate. It's bad luck because it startled you because this is what I imagine happened. You remember what this is, and in your panic and fear, you are like stunned. So Abel, at this point, Abel stops what he's doing, and I get to control Abel now. And Abel starts to slowly walk outside of the room.
I'm going to immediately try and grapple him.
Okay.
What's going on?
He's possessed.
Yep. So go ahead and yeah. So go ahead and grapple him, and I guess I know you're not very strong, Abel, but go ahead and make a go. I'll let you make the opposing strength roll.
Actually, I just made my armor. Gives him strength advantage equal to his intelligence.
Oh wow. Okay. Never mind
Motherfucker.
that. Never mind that. Go
Well,
ahead.
I got a 7.
Oh no. Yep.
Oh, no.
What'd you get, Abel?
Do you want me to? What am I rolling?
Just roll like a strength check. It's just a standard strength check. Yeah. To see if Kino can actually grapple you. Kino has some other stuff up his sleeve, I'm sure he'll use, but
Oh, don't worry. This is
yeah.
This is plan A.
Yeah.
5
You
for
guys-
this. So a 19.
Yeah. So he like brushes you off and pushes you out. It's like there's no way. The whole group sees this, by the way. He's at the door. So here, let me get the minis set up so that everyone understands what's happening. So Kino, you see this immediately. You see that Abel has here. You see that. Oh well, let's do it this way.
You see the armor lights up and it like.
Stop being so good.
Yeah, so you go through it and he like lets you off. Now that you've done that though, I get to control Abel. He is going to try to bolt. Now he has to bolt through Gretna, Macmorn, and Arasis. Oh, actually, Mac, Macmorn, you're up there. You're up there too. So I don't know why I don't have you there, but you're up there. So
if he leaves my space, do I get to make an opportunity attack?
Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it since considering he shrugged you off. Go ahead and try to make an opportunity attack.
All right, I'm going to make an unarmed attack on Abel.
Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is all happening in a split second, so no one really knows what's going on right now. All you know is that Kino has tried to grapple Abel, and then he's just attacked him. Go ahead and roll.
A 10. I also yelled, "He's possessed."
Okay. Yeah, that's
possessed.
true.
He's possessed.
So unsurprisingly, 10 does not get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Abel is going to have to unfortunately get through all of you. Now the Steel Defender, Abel, actually it doesn't matter. What am I saying? This guy has no idea how to use Shield Defender. So, all right. So Abel, your Steel Defender is just like motionless, doesn't do anything right now. He is going to try to get through everyone here. So everyone has the ability to do a reaction as he pushes through. So
Here's the question.
Yep.
Whoever's possessing me, do they know my items or they're just controlling me?
No. Yeah, they're just controlling you. That's why I can't use your Steel Defender or anything. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, you'll be way easier then. Don't worry about that +5. You wouldn't be using it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep. Gotcha. Yep.
So we can only do things that are reactions?
Correct. As he's walking through you. That's right. Actually, you know what we can do? You know, to make it this more fair, Abel, roll initiative. Anyone who gets higher than Abel on initiative can actually make an action as he runs through as well.
Okay.
But if Abel is higher than you on initiative, then all you can do is reactions.
So we have to roll an initiative.
Yeah. You just have to see if you beat Abel, essentially.
What did Abel roll?
Yeah, we don't have to get into initiative order. You just have to, for this
It's
portion.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
What is it? Oh, I just can't
Doesn't
spell.
matter.
Exclamation C space INIT, and that'll do it.
Yeah. Now, Kino does remember. Kino,
C.
you do remember
Really
privately
C.
that this was kind of a shitty item. I mean, this was the thing that killed the other party member and killed them
Yes.
permanently. Like they couldn't even be
Yes.
resurrected. So yeah.
Yeah, that's when.
Everyone got higher than Abel.
Okay, so everyone can do something on this too. Now, I don't want to meta this too much because again, this is all happening in the split second. So Kino
He said he's
really can't
possessed.
tell you. Yeah, that's all he said. So you just have to make your decision. And you have seen Kino attack him and do other things. So first and foremost, let's go by who's closest. So if we go up here, here's Abel. So Arasis is there, and I'm going to say that Arasis also does try to grapple you. Go ahead and I'll let you do the opposing one. He got you actually. He critted. So grapple. So Arasis grapples you, and he's heavy. So you are gonna have to stay here for now. Does anybody else want to do anything?
Do I get a chance?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can do
Okay,
something.
I'm gonna try dispel magic.
Okay, you can try.
Yep, that's all I could. It's either just
No, you have
okay,
to roll for it though. So go ahead
I
and
know.
dispel magic, but you then just roll. This is a hard one,
Um,
but it's possible to dispel this. It is actually possible. There's things that happen when you do that if you can successfully do it, but it's also very hard to dispel this.
I'm gonna give Gretna a
Kino,
against
you
both.
vaguely think to yourself, Jesus, that's why it's in the goddamn drawer. Like you think of yourself over to yourself because you remember this last time too. It's in the
Yeah.
drawer, so whoever made it doesn't also make the same mistake of just like filtering through it. It's probably just left there as like an atomic bomb or whatever. So people
Yeah.
who like but anyway.
You gotta roll a
I make an
d20.
ability check. What?
You gotta
Yep.
roll a d20.
Oh, just d20 and.
Yeah, I can roll it for you too, and then it's your modifier, whatever that is.
No, I'm gonna try to do myself.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Somebody else do it.
I can do it if you want.
Yeah, do it. I'm
Okay.
a modifier.
All right. What is it?
That
Plus
was
3?
Is a 4.
Oh.
Oh, well, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I rolled very high for you.
I
You
got a
actually-
nat 20 for you.
There we
Oh,
go.
you critted?
As Gretna was saying, somebody
Someone
else
roll
could
for
roll.
me.
I rolled a d20 and it's a nat 20. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I rolled a 17 anyway. But so a nat 20. So here.
There he goes. He hasn't
Hold
done
on.
this in a
you
while.
cut out.
Plus 4, so that's 24.
Now what ends up what ends up happening is the effect, the magical effect, is actually dispelled. However, unfortunately, because he was possessed at the time, this puts in essence what ends up happening is that both of the souls immediately leave the body. So the person that's possessing him leaves, but Abel's soul in general also leaves. Both are now trapped within the phylactery. And Abel, you are technically in a dead state. You are technically dead right now. However, that's actually better than what could have happened. So Abel and the possessed being are now, and you would know this as the dispeller. I'm just giving some of this to you because as you do dispel magic, you're like intrinsically linked to the weave as you're doing this, and you can feel and almost see his body leave his body, but also the possessed like thing leave his body too and go right back into the phylactery. I don't know if you remember what happened in the last time and how to go through this,
Yeah.
Kino, but anyway, so you are technically dead now, Abel.
Can I I mean, I just cast a spell, but can I touch him and do cast spare the dying on him?
That is a good question. Read to me Spare the Dying and I'll let you know.
Well, they're
Okay.
both actually.
Spare the
yeah,
dying is you touch it's a cantrip. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. The creature becomes stable. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs.
I don't think that works here.
It doesn't work in this case.
That's a cantrip. I would do it anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So anyway, you do know this as a cleric though. You can feel his body leaving his soul. Abel dies in front of you. However, his soul has not passed beyond. His soul is absolutely 100% trapped in the phylactery with the possessed soul. So even though Abel is dead, his soul has not moved on at this point. You as a cleric, and I will give you this, as a cleric, you know that the body can be preserved for about 10 minutes before we have to do things like resurrection. So his body can theoretically be sustained, and we can go round by round now to go through this, but you're going to have to figure this out in 10 minutes. Otherwise, he will actually need to be resurrected.
Okay.
Because his body will then start to decay and his heart will stop and blood will coagulate and that'll be it. So you've got 10 minutes to figure this out now.
Do I get to cast another spell?
Yeah.
As you
Good.
cast,
Gentle repose.
What does gentle repose do?
Makes the body last for like a week.
Oh, okay,
10
that's
days.
that. Yeah, that's actually a very good spell. So that's really good in this case. So perfect. Okay.
I feel really bad. I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh, that's very helpful in this case, though. Like insanely helpful. As long as you can keep that cast and his soul is in the phylactery, Abel theoretically will not like his body. Yeah, that's perfect. So.
Okay, guys,
Yep.
I'm really sorry.
no, I'm sorry. So that killed one of my friends before. It possessed him. He ran out and got disintegrated. while that happens. So his soul isn't a thing. Do we know how to get the soul out of the phylactery?
Uh-uh.
Beats me.
Can you have him touch it again?
I was gonna say we
Right.
can try that.
Um,
Hello?
Chris, having proficiency in religion, would I know anything about this or Arcana?
You can try. It's a very high DC on anything phylactery related. This is like high level, crazy ass like magical item stuff. But I'll let you try
Can I
since
try?
you are a
Done.
paladin.
If only
Yeah.
Audrey was
I
here.
think
She
I've
knows
done
about
enough.
phylacteries.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Chris, am I able to try?
Yeah, you can try as well as a wizard. This is just super hard. We're talking above 20 DC, super hard, but yes.
Oh, that's a 14. Oh.
Yep. No. These are the only thing that you do know, Kino, even looking at it, you can tell this is an incredibly expensive, expertly crafted thing. But other than that, the roll will have to tell you, yeah.
Does it look like the item can be manipulated at all? Is there
It looks
buttons, things?
it looks like it's highly, highly fragile, even for a magic item. You don't want to like mess with it too hard. Magic items are generally indestructible, but this one, you're not so sure.
Okay, so it looks like it's not supposed to be broken, is what you're saying. Like
You're just
smashing
not
it would not
sure. Yeah,
release
yeah.
the soul.
You're not sure, but at the same time, this looks like it could actually be destroyed. So that's the thing. Like a lot of magic items are very hard to be destroyed. Some of them aren't, but in general, this is one of the ones that looks fragile to you. So
I will relay that to the group that it looks fragile.
Wait,
Destroying the item might return the soul, but it also might destroy both of them.
Chris,
yep.
would I be able to try to roll a history because my character likes to read a lot of books?
Yeah, you can
Mm,
try. It's a
okay.
very high DC though. Yep. This would be like illegal arcane knowledge
Damn
that
it!
just wouldn't be in like normal books. Obviously, like how to, like for instance, this is like on the level of like how to, like what is a Serac and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just very, very hard and outside of.
Do you
It's all
think
right
there's
though.
anything
So
in any of the books here?
Hello?
sorry, Abel. By the way, Abel
Hey,
just
what
wanted to help. Abel just wanted to help, but
I feel
I
so
wanted
bad.
to help. Honestly, intelligence saves are like his strong suit. If you know what I mean.
I kind of thought that you were gonna pass it. To be honest, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Let's just let
Good.
Greta cast a heal spell, see if that brings him back, and if it doesn't,
we already tried.
break
Yeah,
it.
we tried that.
I tried.
Breaking it's an option, but I just worry that one or
bad
the other
option.
will
Killed
return to
both
its.
of
It's a
them.
not
It's
my
either
favorite.
right or irrevocably wrong.
Yeah.
Right, that's our last option.
We can try having him touch it again.
Who has good intelligence saves out of meta? Sorry.
Now, Kino, you were in the room. Sia was in the room. Pandemonium was in the room. This is what you saw. You saw
Wait,
him open.
wasn't I in the room?
I don't think you were technically, Miracle. I, I don't think so. I think you were right outside the room.
Mm,
Um, but essentially, this is what you. So he was rifling through the drawer. The phylactery itself lit up like a blinding, like bluish light, and in an instant, he just basically started like bolting, and then everything happened. Since Pandemonium, you were the closest, and you were in the room too. You did see that after his soul left his body, it did glow again, but that's all you guys saw.
Was it glowing when he opened the drawer before he made the save?
No.
All right. Smashing it sounds like a better option.
What if we smash it, and as soon as we smash it, it's too late for Revivify. Damn it. Never mind.
Revivify wouldn't even work.
See, I'm not a high level cleric. I'm just a cleric.
So where is this flask? To be exact.
It's in the drawer still. It's right here in the drawer.
Don't
So it's
touch
in the
it.
drawer.
Yeah, don't physically touch it. I would say if we're going to do something with it, do it remotely.
Yeah, I'm about to throw a knife at it.
I mean, it sucks, but that's looking like our best option right now because it looks like it's whatever.
Well, so if you do want to like even get a knife into it or whatever, the drawer's only open slightly. He only got to touch it for a millisecond. It's only open halfway. You could do it, Paraven, but you have to go. You have to be within 10 feet or whatever. Other than that, though, uh, the only other thing that Gretna would get, since she's the one that did the dispel magic or whatever, is she can tell you that this is like super powerful magic. It's very high level magic. The whole device, everything going on, it's just very high level stuff.
Yeah, I relay that to everybody.
Yep.
What if we pour it into one of the cauldrons?
I don't think it's I think the cauldron's a liquid. I mean, drop the item into it.
I'm just blurting out ideas. I have no idea.
What were the colors of the liquids again?
Black, yellow, and clear.
So it's clear. It's actually green and then goldish. Clear, green, and goldish.
What color is it glowing?
Blue. It's like a very faint blue at this point.
I don't know.
What you do know, who has the highest intelligence score in the group? Who has the highest passive intelligence?
Probably
Like,
Miracle.
who's the
Abel.
highest? Miracle?
Oh no, it's Abel.
Abel?
Other than
Who's
Abel,
second
it's
highest?
Miracle.
Who's second highest? Abel can't help you. Abel can't help you.
Abel can't help us now.
Yeah.
I have a 16.
Okay, that's actually high enough. So, all right. So, as a magic user yourself, the only thing you can put two together is that touching it does release at least one of the souls. So, there's that. You have no idea which soul would be released, but touching it will release a soul. Because
Okay.
it clearly did when Abel touched it.
Okay, okay, we can get him to touch it again. It'll release one of the souls, but we don't know which. But I can also hold.
Make his
poison
dead body
again.
touch it.
I'm tying a rope around unconscious Abel. By the way, I'm binding
That's
his
a really
ankles.
good idea.
I am binding.
I also have hold person.
The amount of experience I have tying people up would shock you. It would shock everyone in this group.
Yep.
Except for
How
Lee and
little I'm
Amanda.
shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tying him up. I'm tying his wrists, his ankles.
Kinky.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Let's try getting him to touch it.
I'm standing way the hell back once he's all bound.
Are we gonna get him to try to touch it?
I think we gotta.
What would you guys like to do?
How are we gonna move it? Because we have to move the item to him. We gonna mage hand it?
Move
Can
him
we move
to
him
it.
to the item?
How heavy is him?
I mean, you do have mage hand, but what would you guys like to do?
Tall, skinny guy in scale mail. He's not overly heavy.
No,
Yeah.
Erastus has mage hand, but the only
Mage hand will not lift anyone.
no.
Right,
that
it can
was
only
an
lift the
object
item.
To you.
Yeah, it can only lift the item. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. What would you guys like to do?
I feel like we should probably move him to it.
You would know that moving him to the item is absolutely possible, but if his body were to land, in any way, or if you guys mess up and it lands on it or whatever, it could theoretically also crush the thing. But sure, I mean, you can be careful though, of course.
What about Unseen Servant again?
Let's just mage hand the item and place it on him.
But is Unseen Servant actually a freaking thing? Actually, technically a person?
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
they? Wouldn't
It can perform the
they-
same tasks as like just a regular person.
Yeah, they have a chance of getting possessed instead of. Yeah,
Unseen Servant
no.
is a fey spirit, to my understanding.
Oh wait,
Much
fair
like the
enough.
familiar, but
Okay.
yeah. No, but it
Well,
is a living it is a once living or living being. So you might be correct. But yes.
Oh no. Okay, I'm just being smart without knowing. God damn it.
But anyway, what would you guys like to do?
I think Mage Hand might be our best option here to move it.
Yeah, I vote Mage Hand.
Okay. Who wants to do Mage Hand?
Erasmus
Do
is
it.
the only one.
All right. Erasus. Okay. All right. It's so unfair to Erasus. But Erasus does do Mage Hand and go throughs. And hold on one second. He
Oh
touches
Oh
the
no.
item. And Abel, you come back in Erasus's body. Erasus falls to the ground dead. But you are now in Erasus's body, Abel. So Erasus falls. The soul does leave because there's another soul in there. You know, now that you've been in the phylactery, you kind of understand a little bit of how this works. So if there's another soul in the phylactery, this is how you were able to do it. You clawed your way out. So there's another spirit in there, a dead being that desperately wants to get out. It tried its best to claw you out as it activated, but since Mage is an extension of the person in Magic, it doesn't. This thing doesn't care, and it goes through and it's able to like find the spirit and possess it. You almost got outwitted by the other guy, but I just rolled a d4 and you were able to get out. So you are technically now in Erasus, but Erasus, his soul went into phylactery and the other guy was unable to get out. So Erasus is dead. So he does need some attention. However, immediately once he dies, like you guys see this death, and then Abel's able to come back. So it's a very confusing thing. Like Erasus breathes, but Abel, it's very much you in Erasus's body.
Okay.
Oh god.
Hey, we did.
Uh,
Oh. Oh no.
No.
You're very confused at first too because you think that you're just alive again, and then you see yourself, and you're like, yeah.
Am I in here alone?
No. You can see everyone. So you are just with Erasus at this point. Yeah. So Erasus is in the room.
Erasus.
You can see yourself. It's very like at first you thought you just came back to your body, only to realize that you're in Erasus's body.
Okay. I have some concept that souls are switching bodies. I see my body laying there. I look and I see Erasus's armor on me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And exactly.
Do I see Erasus anywhere?
No.
You're
Like his
Erasmus.
spirit or
No. It's gone. You have no idea what happened. All you know is that you were kind of fighting to get out. You were in this like crystal prison, and you're like, you were. So this is what it looked like to you when you got sucked in. You felt yourself die. All of a sudden, you wake up in this crystal prison with another being that is completely faceless and incredibly hostile. This being is you can tell is powerful, and is some kind of high level wizard, and refused to talk to you, and basically as soon as you got in tried desperately to start getting out or trying to fix this. As he took his opportunity, he tried to claw his way like out to you as well, but you got lucky and you were able to get out.
so I believe he is still in the gem.
Probably, and there in the phylactery, and he is a high. You can tell he's a high level, powerful spirit, but kind of inert right now since he's a ghost. But you just knew being in there with him and spending time with him, he's some kind of like nasty high level wizard inside there. Yeah.
Right. It's glowing, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Am I correct in saying that we have another one of these devices in the group, possibly the bag that Abel's body has?
No.
What?
No, ours got destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw that on our.
If you did, it's a mistake because it absolutely got destroyed with the person. That's why I'm saying I'll cheat this a little bit. Kino, you kind of know that our friend here got obliterated because you destroyed it. So you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have wanted to do that at first anyway, because you actually witnessed him dying forever, like permanently, non-resurrection, and the item was destroyed. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. There was also a lot going on
yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway.
all right. So
yeah.
what if we tie you up as Erasus, have you touch it again to get Erasus back, and then have unconscious Abel touch it and hope the switch works?
Might as well try.
I
I
have.
think that's our best
Can I
bet.
ready hold person also though?
Yeah,
All right.
of course.
Can I think like make an Arcana check and try to figure this out to see if I can get a
Yeah.
little
Yeah, of course.
clarity on?
Yeah, especially since you've been inside of it. Yes.
Okay. Am I using able skills or?
You
Arcana?
are using able. You are using able's Arcana in this case because it is. You are essentially like all your knowledge is still able's. Yeah.
Ugh. I guess I'm a little stunned from the experience. 10.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just way too high level magic.
Oh,
You get it wrong.
wait. I go and get the Modron,
Yep. You can out for your body. Absolutely. Yeah.
and I
Yep.
tell 7472 we need to save Abel. How does a what is this, soul cage or what?
Soul
Phylactery.
jar?
You can show
Black-
you can show him the item. You would know this. You can actually pick him up and show him the item.
Do you know how to make that work and function so we can save him?
You can go ahead and roll with advantage now. Let's see. This is still like this is not on the same material plane. So go ahead and roll with advantage and let's see what he knows.
Oh god.
22.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the Modron clicks and whirs and like goes back to you and it says, "This is a soul cage phylactery. It's not made from this world, and it's malfunctioning. There are too many souls within the phylactery." So at this point, he said, "What is your question?" You can tell that this is a hard question for it to answer, and it's kind of hurting itself going through it, but it was able to at least answer this portion. Now, the second question will be a bit harder, but go ahead and ask it.
We have Abel's body. Abel's soul is in that phylactery. How do we get the soul back into Abel?
Okay. Go ahead and roll with advantage again.
I'm way better with real dice, guys. Sorry about this.
Yes.
24.
24. Okay. All right. It does. So it goes back, it clicks some words. It takes a good like minute and a half, and it explains to you that it requires there's an easy way to do this, but it requires magic that no one here possesses. So the only way to get this done with this device is to have Abel's body touch this item, let the soul naturally come back once you are then trapped inside that, and then within a minute after this is done and you are sure that it is able, destroy the phylactery. That's a very important piece to this. If you don't destroy the phylactery and break it, there is a chance from here on out that the wizard inside or the soul inside this phylactery will try for all eternity to basically come get you now that it knows like who you are, and it can cross planes to do this. So it's happening even as you speak, but there's a very small chance that this can happen at any point now. So the hidden truth to this is that just getting the soul back is not enough. You actually are going to have to destroy the soul inside of it permanently. The only way to do that is destroy the phylactery. If you destroy the phylactery, and it goes through and talks to you about this, it says you must use magic to destroy it. If you hit it with a physical item, it is just going to swap the soul before you are permanently killed forever. So if you were to use like a knife or a sword to destroy this, you would literally kill yourself forever. And there's no
Okay.
resurrection coming back to it.
What do I got?
So you need a spell. You need a spell to destroy it. Any kind of offensive spell will work, but it needs to do enough damage to destroy it, and then the Modron stops working for you've got like so much out of it that it's not going to be able to answer questions anymore without hurting itself.
All right. I say that we will need a spell to destroy it.
Yeah, you think to yourself, Abel, that you probably need something that does a high amount of damage too on top of that. So, yeah, probably a higher damage spell.
Anyone have a lightning bolt, or I don't know? What is it?
I can upcast smites.
Glory, or what is it? Just something that does a lot of damage to it. But first, we have to have Abel touch it.
Able does tell you from the Modron's thing that Smite is an iffy one. It
Yeah,
needs to
'cause
really
it's
be
both.
ranged because exactly. Yeah, Smite is an iffy one. It might work, it also might kill you outright.
Any special
I don't want
kind
that.
of damage? Like, do you think radiant is better than fire, or just any damage?
It just didn't say, but it seems like it's a ranged spell. Yeah.
I have
Whatever
chill
would
touch.
break a crystal.
Yeah.
Maybe. Magic missile, like a really nasty one.
This, by the way, this will be the last thing that we're doing because we're not sure if Abel can come back, but I would like to at least resolve this so Abel knows if he's dead forever or not. So we'll
And
resolve
Gage
this and then
staying
we'll.
Erasmus too.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sucks all around. I didn't actually expect this, but yeah.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah.
Shadow would probably be perfect. We just need to be far enough away from it. What do I say? How I'm thinking through how do I make certain that the right soul enters Abel though?
That's the problem. The Modron didn't know, but you just have to make sure that it's done. But you do have to touch it. It's both souls are going to try to claw themselves out. That's the problem. So as soon that all the Modron said is as soon as you're sure that it's Abel, then destroy it. But it made it very clear that you're probably going to have to just see what happens. If it's not, that's the thing. If you destroy this, and Abel's inside of it, he's literally dead forever. So you have to be sure that Abel is outside.
How do I get out of this body?
You touched again.
Okay.
You unfortunately have to go back, which is kind of a terrifying thing for you, but necessary, unfortunately.
You want me to start tying you up?
That's why this is a little complicated and super, super hard because you guys were going to meta this. If I'm controlling Erasmus or not, that's why it's perfect. At the same time, it would be super, super, super fucking unfortunate to just go ahead and perma-kill Erasmus at this point when he's not even playing. So I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about it. I kind of, so Abel, would it be possible, I know this is asking quite a bit, but would it actually be possible for us to stop and you just take like 10 minutes next session and try to do Monday? If not,
if I need to be there, I will make time to be there.
Okay, yeah, just like the first 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, just for the first 5 or 10 minutes, because if something terrible does happen, at the very least, I want Erasmus to have some kind of like reaction or whatever. And here's the thing, where it's still going to be random because again, I kind of met it the first time, but this is a super important and very important to the story. So the next time Erasmus really won't get to talk. Like I'm going to roll and then we're going to figure out questions and stuff. And he's going to be texting me because it's going to be me the whole time, no matter what. Even if it's the other guy or Erasmus, it's still going to be me talking so that the party can't meta if this is really Erasmus or really the guy inside. So that's why it's kind of important. And we'll do the same with you, Abel. So that's why it's kind of important for you to be there if possible.
I was going to ask Erasmus terribly specific.
Yep, that's probably a very smart thing. Yeah,
and give everyone, write in a note that and don't even say it around.
Yeah,
ask it like these 3 questions that only an artificer would know.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good way to go about this. Yeah.
So if it's one of us, here's an answer that only I would know. I can't give you one only he would know, but maybe you know it. You guys know lots of things about him that I don't know.
Ha ha ha. Backstories. Background.
Oh,
Yeah,
There's
there,
no
there are very
backgrounds.
there are by the way there are very very few places within Tomb of Horrors the way that I've built it that you can actually perma die, and this is one of them. It wasn't just because we were taking someone out. Like this is the real deal. So keep that in mind. If you die to this, it's not like dying by the normal traps. You just go back, but not this one.
what I was trying to
This is
work
the real
out
deal.
is
Yeah.
Chris,
Yep.
how
I
do
gotta
we
go
have to
though.
empty out both bodies, right?
Just one. See, so the way that the Modron explained it, if you have to go, that's okay. By the way, so the way that the Modron explained it was that what you have to do is you have to get the guy, the wizard, back in the phylactery by himself, and then you have to have your body touch it, and then either he's going to go in or you're going to go into your body. It's going to be either one. And then it could just be him leaving and going back, or it could be like you going back as well. It's kind of random at that point. But it's like a puzzle because again there's going to be two in there. Right now, for instance, it's Erassus and him. So that's the key. You have to make sure that the wizard is by himself again, and that's where the puzzle comes into play because now there's two in there and it's kind of random on which one comes out. Does that make sense? It is kind of difficult. That's why the questions are super important and everything else, because if the wizard can convince you guys that he's in Erasmus'
It's
body, then yeah.
seems to me like we want the wizard to go into Abel
Right.
and leave Abel in the phylactery.
Right.
And Erassus and Abel, Erassus's body with Abel in it. No, I'm trying to keep identities. There's this.
Yeah, no, I
Right
know.
now,
It's hard. Yeah.
Abel's mind is in Erassus' soul, body. The gem has Erassus's soul and the wizard entity, whatever soul.
That's right. That is correct.
What if you both touch it at the same time? Like, what if you make your
Like
body?
you want to
touch it?
have Abel touch it and hope that the entity goes in it into Abel's body. Then have Erassus's body touch the phylactery and hopefully swap and get the right guy into Erassus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then control the Abel's body with the wizard in it to touch the phylactery again to swap them.
What if we?
Seems like a
I
lot.
hate to say it this way. What if we kill and revive Abel? If the wizard goes into him.
It's iffy.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that, obviously. So
Can you do that while it's stuck in the phylactery though?
No. Like if the wizard goes into Abel's body, we kill Abel, and then have.
right,
and
but
then-
Abel's what he's saying is Abel's soul is still in the phylactery.
Yeah, can't
And the-
revive it. Right. Sorry, just an idea.
Yeah, so the only thing that we would know at this point, Abel, the thing that you would know for sure is that these devices are meant to house and hold souls. This is actually to help death. This is like as you can see, as you guys have done this now, if you're keeping the body alive like this and the phylactery's there, well, if you had high enough magic, theoretically you could live forever this way. Which is interesting. So now the way that you're living is not true living right now, Abel, obviously, but yeah, but this other device has other uses. You've found one of these uses too. This is a very complicated device, and the Modron did tell you that it was malfunctioning, which has to be true because phylacteries in general don't generally hold two souls. The Modron, I'll give you that as this. So this one is special.
What do we know about the soul in there?
Just that it's a high level wizard. You don't know if it's good or bad or anything like that. But it seems relatively selfish. That or insane, or some things
Okay.
of it just
So Erasmus's body,
Yep.
Abel's mind.
Yep.
Who spells?
So so technically, as an artificer, I'm actually going to just allow you to have your own spells because he is an artificer and he has your mind. So
Can
it's
I
your spells. Yeah.
Phylactery?
Yes.
Oh, but I have to touch it.
You can identify the phylactery, but yes, you will have to touch it. But you absolutely can do it.
Because then I would maybe know who was in it.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. Yeah, it would definitely give you a lot more information.
At least Abel's soul has that information.
Yeah.
So we might as well do that as part of touching it when it comes around.
Not only that, you know as well. The problem is the touching it thing, but you know that you Abel, as an artificer, you would be figuring this out anyway. You have essentially have a device that swaps souls. That's like insanely powerful, but at the same time very dangerous because as you touch it, just touching it does this. So it's fragile. Worse, it's fragile. So it's fragile, but at the same time, like doing things like swapping souls is unheard of. Like that's like crazy level magic. So yeah, it's
The
interesting.
true seeing help to tell if there's a wrong soul in a right body and such.
We can make like a
No,
code word.
It doesn't. It doesn't actually. Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't know. I was thinking I could tell you like a code word, and if you come back, you can just tell me it, or I don't know. But I feel like we should tie both of them up and just make them touch each one, and go back and forth until we get the right one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, go on, tie his ass up.
Erasmus is gonna come back and be like, "What is going on?"
I know.
You better not come back as a Vidalkin.
Yeah.
What am I? I don't even know what this is.
Yeah. It would be very foreign to you. Yeah. Yeah. You're also like suddenly like much bigger than you used to being, and like it'd be very very disorienting.
At least Abel knows what a turtle is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to be turned into this thing that you met like earlier in the day. Like I don't even know what this creature is. I've never seen another one.
Yep, it's very true. Yeah.
Now know it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
How are we getting them to touch it once their soul is out of their body? How are we getting them to touch the jar?
Exactly. That's what I want everyone to think about. That is there's more complication here. I just don't want to spoil anything, but that's exactly right. That's one of the most complicated portions.
You want to tie a spears to their arms so you can like use it to, you know.
Are we putting them now?
But
Are
we
we
can't be
Marionette
attached
them?
to it in any way, shape, or form.
Why not?
Because it's like the same thing that happened with Erasmus.
traveled through Mage Hand?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's where like I said, this is interesting, but I mean there is a solution, but this is complicated stuff. Everyone, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and stop it here, but everybody really think about this because this is truly perma life, perma death, like now. So everyone, this is kind of an important part of the story. So everybody think about this and what they think they're going to do with all this too. I mean, obviously the stakes are really high for Erasmus and for Abel, but at the same time, if things go bad, this could theoretically happen to anyone as well trying to get this done. So really think about this.
Also,
So,
we have that thread too.
that's right.
Thread?
Yep, the thread is on the table still. Yeah.
I've before we go, I have a question for Abel. Does the
Can you also
Modron?
come back? Can you also come back next week? You know.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Good. That's important too. Cool.
Also, Chris, while this is happening, I'm just gonna put the books back on the bookshelf. After like pacing back and forth and feeling very conflicted, I'm just gonna put them back where I found them.
Okay. All right.
Both of the two really bad ones. I'm just gonna put them back and
Okay.
not say anything.
Okay. That's fine. Yep. Cool.
Just so I have it in my head while thinking through the week. Can I not identify, but look and figure out what the magical thread is, just to know if maybe that's something that would be useful in the whole process?
So the magical
If it's
the,
don't get
yeah,
to go
I
through
will
this,
let you cast. I mean, are you gonna try to ritual cast identify?
I'll use everything I got to check it out.
Yeah, okay, all right. So this is how the magical thread works. The magical thread looks like silvery, basically like it looks like a silvery like actual like thread that you would use in clothing. However, with the right command word, this does have to be attuned. With the right command word, you can actually spool this out and it will become taut. Now, this can actually be used in a number of different ways, but the wire that becomes like very like stiff is completely and utterly unbreakable. It can't be used, so that there's some limitations on this. So it looks like it's got a good like 50 or 60 feet worth of thread, and it will become almost like indestructible. It becomes like this very small, thin, like wiry substance. The downside is that on your identify, as you use this to go through this, it's very hard to use, because what ends up happening is when it becomes rigid, the two sides of it are so incredibly sharp that uh, holding it is very difficult, and you have to basically make basically you like prick yourself and hurt yourself as you go through it, and it's incredibly unwieldy. If you can find a creative way to use this, it's obviously some kind. I mean, you don't know what this is for, why this was created, or what its real intention is, but that's what it does. On a command word, it can basically make itself taut, and it's around 60 feet, which is pretty long worth of thread. It's almost indestructible, and it's very sharp on both ends.
Okay.
Between like, sorry,
No, I was just remembering. I have the needle. If I attune to the needle, would that be of any use with this thread? So I could use the mending needle with the
So
thread.
so the so the only the so it is actually useful in the sense that because it's a magic item and it's a needle itself, you can actually thread this through. You can actually use this to thread it through the needle, but that's all you can figure out for now. Like there's no like so for instance, because the needle is magic, it will actually allow you to thread it. If you were to use a normal needle, no, it's never going to thread through. But since this is a magic needle in its needle form, you can put a needle on the other end of it. There are certain things you can think of to do with this Pyravin as an like roguish character. Anyway, for instance, if you could get someone to swallow this thread and then speak the command word, that would be devastatingly bad for the person. There's all kinds of things that can be done, but this is a very dangerous item. Holding it might kill you if you speak the command word. It's that dangerous because it becomes taut and it extends outward. So this is kind of a very kind of dangerous kind of item for a magic item. But you would know exactly how this works through the identify. So once you speak the command word, it's going to unravel and become like nearly
Yeah.
indestructible and taut for 60 feet.
Yeah.
But you've never seen it in action, and able through the identify, you would just know the properties of this are dangerous. This might have been used as a torture device, but you're not sure.
I don't feel like it would in any way help in the transference of souls and stuff like that. Is
No, but there could be a creative use for this.
yeah.
And if you like ball it up into a little, like a spool, like if
hmm And then you throw it. Yes, it would become just straight, but it's got no mass to it. So you could ball it up, but then when you speak the command word, it's just going to go out straight in 60 feet. But again, remember both things are really sharp. But if you threw this at someone, it'd just bounce off. Like unless you could somehow get the needle, the sharp part into someone's eye or something. Yeah, it's not going to do much damage.
and we don't know the command word.
No, identify does give Abel the command word actually. In this case, it does.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean
But he
I've
has to
so
attune to it to get the command word. That's the thing. It has to be attuned to get the command word. So the identify gives you the beginning of the process, and then once you're attuned to it at that point, you can get the command word. It's on attunement, so I shouldn't say that. The identify
Does,
doesn't actually give you the command word, but on attunement, you get the command word.
does someone here have Revivify?
I do.
Yeah. But anyway, start thinking about that and going through it. Like I said, this is actually one of those that is actually kind of permanent life or death. So
Mhm.
I will definitely be thinking about this in the next week.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a choice. I think this is all
Yeah,
I'm going to be thinking.
sorry, Abel, and pre-sorry to Erasmus too. That double sucks, but yeah.
No,
Abel's
these
trying
are-
to help and might die permanently, and Erasmus wasn't even here and might die permanently. So
No, we'll get through this. We'll figure out a solution.
all right, guys, cool. All right, well, thank
Yeah.
you. That was
Yeah.
definitely good. So yeah, and we got a lot done, which is great. So
Nice playing with you
Yes.
guys.
Likewise.
Buddy. Good night.
Forward to
Good
next
night, everybody.
Bye,
yeah,
guys.
Boy.
see you later. Yep, have a good night.
Have a nice-
Not everybody can be as helpful as Anu when she comes in.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man,
this
I
is
feel
yeah.
so
I feel
bad.
pretty bad, yeah.